What is going on? Today we are tackling some fantasy football drafts. A couple of these are going to be single entry contests. Or one of these is going to be a best ball mania. We do have a couple really interesting contests in the lobby right now. The first one we're going to do is the Greyhound, which is a single entry fast drafts only, $30K to first, and it's a $35 entry contest. I think mixing in a number of contests like these are really smart because, if you're doing only best ball mania drafts, like it's hard to stay, profitable on underdog because that's one of those contests that you're looking for the big score, but Greyhound is one of these that you could actually just be profitable in. And then we're going to tackle the Golden as well after this draft, which is a $10 entry, single entry contest as well, which I think for new players especially would be a really good contest to get your feet wet with because it's a tournament style. So you do have a chance of, turning $10 into 10,000 at the top there, but it's not like super daunting, huge tournament like BBM where you feel like if you're not skilled enough, you don't, have a chance of making the finals. Only 5,000 entrants there. So yeah, let's get this kicked off here, Spicy, with the Greyhound. We're going to do the 20 seconds per pick.
Yes, sir.
And give it 5 seconds and then hit the confirm. And if you guys want to join the draft, of course, you can hit the link in the description or in the live chat here. Using promo code FSE, you can sign up on Underdog and get up to $1,000 in bonus funds. And you'll get a free pick to use for Halliburton for the next game of the NBA Finals, which is game 4. I had 3 for 4 yesterday. Thankfully, I told Spicy to flex the entry, so we did win something.
The one that we did on stream the other day hit.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, that was that a 4 for 4 that we did? We flexed it though, right?
Yeah, we flexed it, but all 4 hit. Yeah.
Yeah, like if you look at the history of how many hits and misses we're getting here, like, man, I've been hot the last couple. I've missed, 3 picks in the last 5 entries?
Hey, it is, but sorry, I got to point this out because it's just so ironic based on the conversation that we were having prior to the stream. But why is this one of the first questions that we
don't ask us this? Me and Danny yapped about Nico Collins for 20 minutes before this.
Not even joking. Spicy's like, yo, where's the link? And I'm like, okay, my bad. We got into a 25-minute argument on Nico Collins.
Yeah. But yeah, we're going to rip a best ball draft. We probably won't do, the game's not until Friday, right?
Yeah. Because I believe so.
Yeah, there's probably no point of building
hockey games tonight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We got 3 more people to join this Greyhound. Again, if you guys want to join, it is a $35 entry, so it's a little bit higher stakes than BBM, but again, pretty decent payout structure. I advanced last year. The Greyhound was a thing as well, and I advanced the only Greyhound team that I drafted because it was a single entry contest. But I got bounced, I think, in week 15. So I didn't end up really doing much with it.
Yeah,
Nick says,
I remember correctly,
got hooked on an Alex Caruso 3 for a 25x. Yeah, you got a 6 entry. You're a sicko for not flexing things like that for sure. But I respect it.
Did he hit 2? So he hit lower than 1.5. So he hit 2 then. But he bet him 2. Sorry, I guess so. He hit 2. He had him lower than 1.5. Okay, that makes sense.
Also, for the sake of answering the question that Rental Turtle asks, me and Danny differ on this. I'll say what I think the floor is and the ceiling is, and Danny will say what he thinks the floor and the ceiling is, and you can kind of choose which one of us you want to believe. I frankly think that Nico Collins' ceiling is probably about a top 5 fantasy receiver this year. The reason I say top 5 is because I do think that the offensive line of the Texans is going to be a bit of an issue, especially because Nico is primarily a downfield threat. He was, 11.0 average depth of target last year. So I think if the Texans are going to have, let's say, 4 or 5 games this year where they're not able to get a whole lot of downfield passing going, that's going to result in Jalen Knowles, Christian Kirk, Dalton Schultz, and the running backs maybe soaking up some targets. So for me, I don't think that the ceiling is wide receiver 1 overall, unless we see a monster season out of CJ Stroud and a monster season out of just the Texans offense in general. And then the floor, I think he's generally going to be, let's say, like a Mike Evans caliber fantasy asset on the lowest range of outcomes.
Yeah. I do think he's got wide receiver 1 in the range of outcomes. He was the wide receiver 2 in fantasy when he was healthy at the beginning of last year, and CJ Stroud was not playing his worst football of his career objectively. On top of that, you mentioned the target competition. Personally, for me, people might say, well, Higgins and Noel and Christian Kirk. You're going to point to that. I would argue when he was at his best last year, when Stephon Diggs was actually commanding 9 targets per game, Nico Collins was averaging 22 points per game. So I'm not worried about the target competition. And in fact, I'm actually more optimistic on the fact that with Jaden Higgins coming in, they have another capable body that can play the X wide receiver role. You look across the league, CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors. They're all guys that have been orchestrated in and out in their offense. Nico Collins wasn't afforded that ability because otherwise, if he wasn't playing X, is Tank Dell going to play Dex? Or X is a washed, or not washed, but older, injured Stephon Diggs going to play X? Is Xavier Hutchinson going to play X? They didn't have a player that can play the boundary wide receiver role last year. I think by drafting Higgins, it now opens up Nico Collins to be truly used like one of those other wide receiver ones in the league. And on top of that, like I said, even if you just look at the season holistically, in games he played 50+% of the snaps, 10 of the 12 games that he officially suited up in, he was a 19-point per game scorer. 19 points per game last year would have been the wide receiver 4. So to say that you don't think he has a top 3 to 4 ceiling, like he was literally doing it last year, and that was coming off a grade 2 hamstring strain. So for me, if CJ Stroud bounces back, everybody thinks that he can get back to top 8, top 10 level quarterback level like he was as a rookie, which I think is fair to say. Yes, the offensive line is worse, but we're betting on the talent level of CJ Stroud. To me, Higgins, Noel, Christian Kirk, I think they can only help in terms of the usage for Nico Collins in this offense, because it wasn't like he was a 30% target share player that might go down to 24%. He was at 24.8% last year.
Yeah, you said a lot that I disagree with, and we already went over this.
We already went over it, and I mean,
frankly, I just prefer the guys that are going around Nico Collins,
which is
more.
Fair.
I prefer Neighbors, I prefer St. Brown, I prefer Puka, I prefer even BTJ. London, I do have ranked over Collins, but I definitely realize I'm on an island with that. It's more of a PPR thing.
Yeah.
Because his best season was a 24.5% target share. And now, he has more target competition. You could say, oh yeah, Diggs. And
I don't think it's more target competition.
Dell was terrible last year. And Diggs only played 7 games. For 10 games last year, Nico Collins was competing for targets, or however many games he played of that 10 games. He was competing for targets with John Mechie and Xavier Hutchinson. To me, I think Kirk, Noel, and Higgins are going to factor in more. And I also adamantly disagree that they're going to move him around the formation, because he is the only receiver that plays X. Because Higgins played mainly big slot and Y receiver in college, and Noel and Kirk can't play anywhere other than the slot.
Sure, but when they're in 12 personnel and Higgins and Collins are on the field, you don't think the 6'4", 215-pound body that they brought in can play on the outside?
He can, but they're both going to be outside receivers in that situation.
I know, but basically on the line versus off the line, he's going to play the X role because Nico Collins can be used interchangeably. Again, I think he's going to predominantly play X. I'm just saying there opens up more opportunity for him to slide inside. And on top of that, I mean, we're talking about a guy the last 2 years has ranked top 10 against both man and zone against in terms of yards per route run. He is the only wide receiver in the NFL the last 2 years to rank top 10 in each of those years.
Yeah, for sure. Again,
that's my thought.
It's an interesting topic of discussion for sure. Should we maybe do the BBM first while we're waiting for this to fill? And maybe in the 15th round or something spicy, maybe get this loaded up so that
it's waiting for 3. That's the only scare. It's waiting for 3.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Leave the draft and then we'll just do a BBM. And then in the 15th round of the BBM draft, maybe load this in so that we can get it going.
I agree with you, Kay. I believe so. He's either 4 or 5 for me at receiver.
I have Nakua.
So I moved Nakua to
4.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Full PPR. I moved Nakua to 4. I think that based on the perception that came back, what we expect from the Rams offense, Nakua himself as a player, I think is in that 5 to 8 range in terms of real life talent in the NFL. I think that's appropriate. Outside of Puka though, I would take Nico Collins upwards of 9th overall because. Countering you, I do think wide receiver 1 overall is in the range of outcomes because you're pointing out historically, okay, well, he's only capped at a 24.8% target share. Quite frankly, I don't really care what he did in his first 2 years. In the last 2 years we've seen him, he's been an elite NFL wide receiver. And who's to say year 3 with CJ Stroud, he doesn't take the step up to be a 27, 28% target share player because the actual talent level itself would dictate that he should be.
Yeah, I mean, year 5 in the NFL is going to suddenly have a bigger
target. Well, that's what I don't care about years 1 and 2 because he wasn't remotely the same player that he is now. Years 1 and 2, he wasn't.
If I compare him to players going around him,
sure,
BTJ is going into year 2. Malik Neighbors is going into year 2. St. Brown's already proven that he's a better target earner than him. Nakua going into year 3 and already proven that he's a better target earner than him. And then London's going into year 4, I guess, but he's only 24 years old, and he's been a 29% target share every year of his career, except for I believe in 2023 he was like a 25%
at the end of the day
target share guy.
Those guys can get 3 to 4% more target share, but at the same time, the value of Nico Collins targets are going to be higher to the point where if Nico Collins is at a 25, 26% target share, I would take that over a 28, 29% target share of players that simply don't have as much dynamic ability.
Yeah, again, that's fair. I would say
like BTJ, I think is fair. It's just for me, I think Nico is a slightly better player than BTJ at this point in their careers. And I'm not scared about the target competition like I am per se a Travis Hunter, although they're in the same tier for me. I don't. Like,
I just don't think better player really matters when it comes to fantasy production when they're all really, really, really good receivers. Whoever projects better for fantasy is. But like you telling me that St. Brown is the fourth best receiver in the NFL? I don't think he is, but he outscores AJ Brown every year because he projects fantasy better for fantasy.
Well, but I also don't think the Texans are going to throw the ball like 380 times like the Eagles did last year.
No, but I'm just saying, like, just because Nico's better doesn't mean I think he'll be better for fantasy.
For who in relation? Sorry.
Just because I think Nico's a better receiver than London doesn't mean he's better for fantasy if London is better for PPR leagues because he catches 118 passes.
Sure, but if CJ Stroud's going to throw the ball even 570 plus times, which he very well should, based on the current running back core versus their current receiver core, like you mentioned, right? They added two receivers. Like anything this offseason, they fired Bobby Slow because they were running the ball too much. They draft 2 wide receivers early. Like that would point to them inherently throwing the football more.
They were already a top 12 team in pass rate last year. I don't think that matters.
And then they draft 2 wide receivers in their first 3 picks, despite needing offensive line help.
Yeah, I mean, they already threw a lot, though. It's not like they go from like bottom 5 in pass attempts and then add receivers.
Sure, I just think that there's more room for them to throw the football more.
I don't think they'll throw the ball more than 575 this year.
Well, like the biggest complaint on Bobby Slowick was him running the football in situations on like 2nd and long where they didn't need to. Like that was the biggest complaint.
Ask Texans fans. Again, if the Texans throw 625 times this year, then I would probably agree with you. Nico probably does have a higher ceiling than top 5. I just don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, and maybe he doesn't, but at the same time, simplifying it down, I think this guy is a legitimate wide receiver 5 or 6 talent in the NFL. I think CJ Stroud is arguably a top 10 overall quarterback in the NFL. And I think there's room for him to improve in terms of his overall target share, especially considering the fact that half of his sample size last year came in games where he literally came back from a grade 2 hamstring strain.
Yeah. And 10 of those games, he had no receiver talent on the field.
Sure. But again, it came straight off of a grade 2 hamstring strain, which in the first game he came back, he played 47% of the snaps and was only used to stretch the field against the Cowboys.
Yeah. Again, we've already gone back and forth on this enough times. And people love me some round one. You have to make these decisions.
You have to make these decisions.
You have to. I get it. It seems moot to talk about players that are both really, really good and you expect good things out of. But like on the clock, you have to make a decision. Are you going to take Nico Collins, or are you going to take Malik Neighbors, or are you going to take Puka Nacua, or are you going to take Brian Thomas Jr.? You do have to have a stance, one or the other.
Yeah, I mean, for example, also Nico Collins does go before our picks. So
I will say in best ball and half PPR on underdog, I think it's totally fair to think he's a top 8 to 10 player.
I'm going Christian McCaffrey here.
I would prefer Neighbors, but if you want to go McCaffrey, we can.
So the issue is 9. Okay, so that would mean what our next pick says.
I think
16?
we'll get Achane with our next pick. That's why I want to go Neighbors.
Yeah, I'll capitulate.
Yeah. For me, when I look at, because we're picking 109, which is where I pick in my home league. So I've done a lot of mocks and theorizing through this area of the board. And I do think that I would rather take the receiver in round 1, assuming it's Nacua or Neighbors, who are 4 and 5 for me. And it would have been St. Brown too, but because of the knee stuff and the Frank Ragnow retirement, I moved him below those 2 guys because I feel confident that I will get one of McCaffrey, Genty, or Achane in the second round. That's why I'm doing it. You can make the argument,
I think that's a good way to approach it.
I'm in a home league that drafts running backs really high. That's fine. Go with the running back in the first round then. But my home league is pretty even split, and I also expect Derrick Henry to go before my second pick as well. So I'm kind of leaning on the side of I'd rather get Puka Nacua or Neighbors. But Achane would be the pick there for me as well.
So theoretically, okay, so Achane here, no problem. We take him. If Achane had gone, the sneaky thing here actually would have been the fact that the Giants and the Raiders do play week 17. So the decision point between London and Bowers would have been interesting.
Sorry, who plays in week 17?
Giants versus Raiders.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that would be interesting. I mean, Neighbors Genty would be the ideal way to play that if you can somehow get that to fall. I mean, Genty, you go like 11 or whatever, and then maybe Neighbors would slide to you or something. I guess it'd be kind of challenging to get that unless you're at the turn.
Yeah, that would be heat. Also, exactly. Like these wouldn't be contentious debates if there weren't worth being contentious over. Like we have to make these decisions. It's just like the fact, hey, last year, guess what? If I just said, hey, I'm cool with any of the top 6 picks, I'm cool with, Chase, Jefferson, Lamb, McCaffrey, whatever, Hale. I'm cool with any of those guys.
Brees.
But if I take Brees Hall over Jamar Chase, I fucked up. And I did.
Yeah, and it happens. And like, if we go back, let me look at fantasy football ADP.
It's every year.
2024. And like, you're gonna look at the ADP from last year and
Wilson
go,
versus Jefferson.
there were some very clear good decisions and very clear bad decisions that happened in the first round.
People give you shit for Wilson over Jefferson. I think me taking Breece Hall over Jamar Chase is not even a conversation a million times worse.
You think? I mean, Wilson and Jefferson, there was a closer point per game discrepancy between those two
I
guys.
passed on the league winner last year for Breece fucking Hall.
Yeah. Like last year, McCaffrey, Lamb, Hill, none of those guys realistically were like excellent, and Hill and McCaffrey were awful picks.
Like Lamb was your best bet, but he missed the rest of the season and he finished with like 17.5 points per game. It's like, if you drafted him second overall, that's not a second overall investment.
Yeah, like of the first round, this is who went in the first round last year. McCaffrey, Lamb, Hill, Bijan, Breece, St. Brown, Chase, Jefferson, Barkley in home leagues, according to Fantasy Pros, A.J. Brown, Jonathan Taylor, Garrett Wilson. Of the guys who went in the first round last year,
4 or 5 of those hit.
You were happy with Chase, St. Brown, probably Lamb to some degree,
Jefferson,
Bijan, but after week 6 because he started out slow,
Jefferson,
and Barkley. That was it.
Jefferson
and
too.
A.J. Brown, you probably were, and Jefferson and A.J. Brown were about the Lamb caliber of you were happy with them.
See, I think A.J. Brown was the one below, no? Because he missed like 7 games or something like that, didn't he?
No, he only missed like 3 games last year, I think.
Okay, maybe it was his points per game production.
We're on the clock here. Do we want to go with...
My bad.
You want to go with... I'd be cool with Evans. I'd be cool with Breece here.
We just talked about Breece. They also play no, they don't play the Dolphins week 17, but it's same division, so you get 2 games.
No, they play the Patriots week 17.
Yeah, you're right. Either way, though, I'm cool with Breece or Evans here. You know what I'm going to be shouting for the next pick.
You're going to want Travis Hunter, of course. I mean, you're going to just draft him every time, I guess.
If he's going to continue being a 4th-round pick, I am cool having legitimately over 50% ownership. Because at that point, you're only playing spike weeks anyways in best ball. What other player in this range has the ceiling on a per-game basis that Travis Hunter does in a Liam Cohn offense?
I mean, I could argue the guy going right ahead of him does.
I actually like Jameson Williams in best ball too.
In best ball, I think he's still a little overvalued just because people are doing the, if I have him week 17. Do you want to go? I'd prefer to go Metcalf or McMillan, but it doesn't matter.
If you don't want to go Hunter, I'm cool with McMillan. I'm not taking Metcalf over Hunter. I couldn't live with myself.
Okay. Let's go McMillan.
I probably have like 1 or 2 Metcalfs, and I'm in.
I've drafted a lot of Metcalf, man. My thought is this on Metcalf. I can make a quick case for why I like him. For best ball, he's better in best ball. Like he's Metcalf. He catches bomb touchdowns all the time. 2, look at Aaron Rodgers' number 1 receivers all the time. And I get it was Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson. They're like better receivers than DK Metcalf. But
that's my qualm with Metcalf.
It's like targets his number 1 receiver. And also, Aaron Rodgers checks out of run plays in the red zone, and that benefits Metcalf quite a bit. And he also has no other receiving talent around him. Like he's going to get 150 targets this year.
So that would be the positive. The negative for me, I'll add. First of all, I don't think DK Metcalf is a 160 plus caliber target player at this point.
Doesn't matter if he is or not. If they throw 500 times, which is about the time he's going to have that many targets.
I'll let you make your point.
Go ahead. Sorry, I won't
talk about the cons. I don't think he's the caliber player that's going to be doing that. I think there is risk level in terms of Aaron Rodgers too, a 40-year-old quarterback that they signed really midway through the offseason. Yeah. And I also think the Steelers are going to be a bottom 5 offense in the league. So at that point, it's like, yeah, he could be hyper targeted, but I don't think he's a good enough player to be quite frankly, to catch fucking 110 balls. Like, do you think he can catch 110 passes?
No,
He'll probably be 90 at max.
Targets, he wouldn't catch that many of them because they're still downfield targets and stuff. I just tend to think we have not seen DK Metcalf in a position to earn this caliber of volume before, which is intriguing to me.
I would argue the Seahawks threw the ball more than we could expect from Arthur Smith and the Steelers.
Well, yeah, they did, but there's no JSN or Tyler Lockett on the Steelers.
Sure. I don't know. I see a capped player.
Aaron Rodgers was objectively not that bad last year. Like, I'm not saying he was good, but like his bottom line, you do this for Caleb Williams all the time. You look at the bottom line numbers for Aaron Rodgers, they were actually like pretty good.
Yeah, I'm just saying based off like the expectations we had going into last year, though. Like I was all in on Garrett Wilson. I was all in on Breece because I thought we'd see Aaron Rodgers.
I was hoping Metcalf fell back to us.
Yeah. If he falls that far past ADP, okay, I'll mix him in. Same with RJ Harvey. It's like I'm not going to take him at 54 overall, but I'll get my shares when he falls in the 60s because like I don't want to be 0% on him. Like sometimes he'll fall like 65, 67. Sutton would be cool.
Yes, let's go Sutton.
Yes. Yep, I'm down.
especially texturally 7 or 8 picks higher than this in ADP. The
I'm
starting
to warm up on Rome too, eh?
What'd you say, sir?
I'm starting to warm up too on Rome.
Yeah, I think best ball is a good place to get him. And like for those of you guys that play on like Yahoo and ESPN, he'll probably be like an 8th round pick or something like that. The place I'm scared of Rome is actually Dynasty, not best ball or redraft, because I think Dynasty wise, he's still valued.
You have to make the decision long term.
He's still valued very highly in Dynasty, whereas in redraft, it's inconsequential to miss on a 6th round pick.
You have outs on him. Like, guess what? Did I really feel the brunt of missing on him in the 6th round of the Flock League last year? No.
Yeah. Got to grab your fully grown men. Yeah, I do think it's somewhat incongruent of you to prefer to like Nico.
No, it's good, Garage.
Not want Metcalf because they're similar players.
Yeah, I mean, they're similar players maybe in terms of height and speed. Nothing else is similar about them.
I don't know, dude.
Nico Collins is a 3-level threat receiver. DK Metcalf can't run fucking breaking routes.
We were just talking about Godwin. You want to take him here?
Yeah, shut.
Or you want to go? You want to go Henderson or somebody different?
I mean, we could take Henderson for the.
I'd rather go Godwin. I feel like I like the running backs a little better. Plus, we took 2 in the first 3 rounds.
Hey, Trevion correlates, but we'll go Godwin. Go Godwin because we got to do this because he switched his name to Junior. Shout out Rifle.
Yeah, shout out to Chris Godwin's dad. The Buccaneers Twitter account announced that Chris Godwin is putting Junior on the back of his jersey because his dad passed away last year. And Danny and I both met his dad in Dallas in 2022. We were at a hotel going to the Cowboys-Bucs game on Sunday Night Football, and some Cowboys fan went up to Danny and was like, "Hey, I think that's Chris Godwin's dad over there." And I looked at him, took one look at this dude. I'm like, "Yeah, that's absolutely Chris Godwin's dad. He's wearing a jersey with like a bunch of patches on it, and it's a 14 Godwin jersey, and he looks exactly like freaking Chris Godwin, and just the nicest dude ever. He sat down with us, told like us a bunch of stories. Oh, when we were going to Penn State and all this kind of stuff. And for me as a Bucs fan, Godwin's one of my favorite players. So that was super, super cool. Gave us his phone number after. Danny's going to mention he told us about some illegal streaming app that he uses for sports and shit.
Yeah. No, what a nice guy too. So you guys can see the picture with Corey on the screen. I'm going to put the one with me as well. And yeah, funniest thing too, the way we approached them is like, as you can see, the guy in the back with the blue hat, he was wearing a Cowboys jersey with like a big chain on. Everybody in the hotel was all wearing Cowboys jerseys, but I saw 2 people wearing Bucs jerseys. So knowing me, I'm going to be playful. I'm going to play some banter. I went up to him. I'm like, I think you're wearing the wrong colors today. Whatever. And then we ended up finding out that was literally Chris Godwin's dad. So we sat with him for breakfast.
Yeah. Danny was down in the lobby before me, and I would not have, I've removed you. Danny would not have, I would not have said that to Chris Godwin's dad because I would have known instantly it was Chris Godwin's dad just by looking at him.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I think you were in the lobby before me, or I was getting coffee or something.
Yeah, you got your food. You always get your food before you sit down. I always like see where I want to sit, kind of put my stuff down and then go. Like that's the difference I've noticed, especially when we go to like breakfast and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Why is Chris Godwin a 6th round pick? Don't know, dude, but I've drafted him at least on 30.
It's got to be for
so far.
It's got to be for the health. Like that's the only thing I can.
Yeah, it's 100% the health. But like, dude, Chris Godwin tore his ACL at the end of December 3 years ago and was back for week 1 and training camp. Also, like a broken ankle ain't shit after you've done that. It was a complex ACL contact injury. Think of what Javonte Williams has looked like since the same injury. That was the same injury Godwin had.
Also, my shout would be Caleb Johnson here if he falls.
My shout would be Jaden Reed or Pacheco would be my highest 2 rated players. I don't mind Ayuk on this team, given the strength of the receiver core that we built out. I like taking Ayuk when you have a bunch of receivers, but I'm cool with Caleb Johnson if you want to go with him.
How about this? Well, if we go Caleb Johnson here, if Downs is available the next pick, I will sign off on it for you. Or Ayuk.
I mean, realistically, Downs should probably be going over all of these guys. If I'm being 100% honest,
I'll sign off on either
over all of them. I just know I can get him probably in the next round.
Also, if you guys are curious, like, oh wow, how do you not have a onesie yet? How do you have 3 running backs and 4? Oh fuck, he goes next pick.
Devastating.
I actually did want him for what it's worth. Oh, you guys are probably like, well, why don't you have a onesie yet? I honestly think this year, like 7 fucking flex players, even 8 flex players in the first 8 picks. Once you get to round 9, Spicy, scroll down about to the 90 range for the flex players. First of all, Cooper Kupp. Then you get to Ibuka.
Even like, beyond this point, I think it's like once you get past Higgins and Burden is when it's just a wasteland.
even after Pittman, it's like I like Higgins, but I don't love him. Like Coleman is a like wonky projection. It's like for me there, like why wouldn't I just take my onesies in that range when I'm dealing with like Trey Harris and Cam Scatterbo and those archetypes versus
Look at the numbers
now
position wise. At wide receiver 53 off the board or quarterback 11.
Yeah, it's just it's numbers.
We gotta take Pacheco or B-Rob in my opinion if they fall to us. I think they're just too good of values to be on the board.
Yeah, I agree. And then see the beauty of this now is we take Pacheco. He is the clear.
Hold on, before we do that, actually, yeah, we're not going to get Mayfield to fall back to. I was going to say, or do we take Ibuka and try and stack them? But Mayfield won't fall back to us. So
yeah, hopefully we can get Knicks maybe because we have Sutton at the next pick.
Yeah, I saw a couple questions that I wanted to go back and address early in the stream here. I think we addressed this one. That was Puka to me is my wide receiver 4, and I think I have him ranked 107 currently as well. So he would be the guy that I would be leaning towards, Benji, if you're thinking who should you pick at 108. I don't have Genty in that range. I have Genty at 11. I personally would pick Achane and McCaffrey over him. McCaffrey versus Genty versus Achane, though, I literally go back and forth on a daily basis, like legitimately. Like I've had all 4 of them at RB4 at points in time, and I don't know which one I actually think is the best option. I think, to me, I look at it this way. Achane has the ceiling and has less risk than McCaffrey. Genty, of course, has the ceiling because of the unknown and the fact that he's a superstar talent, and he's the least risky from a injury perspective, but he also is the most risky from an offensive projection standpoint. And then McCaffrey is all ceiling, all risk. To me, Achane is the best of the two, where you get a little bit less risk, a little bit high ceiling, that kind of thing. So that's why I prefer Achane of the 3 guys there, but they're all very close. And I have all of them ranked at like, I think I have Achane 9 or 8, and then I have McCaffrey 10, and then I have Genty 11. Like they're all.
I honestly think Genty has the least risk, which sounds crazy for a rookie running back. But when you look at the hit rates of rookie running backs of his prospect caliber that get a 60+% opportunity share in their rookie years, like you're looking legitimate 20 point per game scores. Like
I don't.
You're looking at the best of the best.
There's a world where the Raiders offense hinders his touchdown upside and that kind of thing.
Maybe, but like as long as he gets a 60+% opportunity share, it shouldn't matter.
Yeah, no, dude, trust me, man. I go back and forth on it all the time, and this is one of those fourths that I'm gonna go. I'm actually gonna put Genty over McCaffrey because, dude, those.
Yeah, I have McCaffrey literally 107. I have McCaffrey at 107.
I can't put him that high. I'm scared. Like if I had nuts on the chopping block, I'm on the clock. I can't do it.
I can because guess what? We were taking him 1st and 2nd overall last year. He had 24 and a half points. Here. We'll make the pick start.
Do you want to go Burden here?
Yeah, I'm cool with Burden.
I actually been taking a lot of Burden. I didn't think I was going to get a lot of them, but I have been taking them quite a bit.
Like in this range, like straight up, I like Keon Coleman, the prospect, but Burden's a comparatively better prospect, and he doesn't have the stench of a bad rookie year. Yeah,
I think Coleman's a weird one, man. I really just don't feel great about that ADP. I feel like I should be getting him in the 11th or 12th based on what he did as a rookie.
So too quickly, going back on McCaffrey, I have him at 107. That might shock some people. I have McCaffrey at 107, 2023, 24 and a half points per game. If you took his points per game, that was literally I believe a top 11 or 12 season of all time at running back in terms of PPR. Mm-hmm. And the only bias that we have on him was the Achilles tendonitis and the PCL strain. Sounds like he is fully recovered from both of them. And in fact, he's fully healthy for OTAs. So if the health issue, which again, health issue is always going to be there when you're talking about a 28-year-old running back with that amount of career touches under their belt. The difference is because it happened to McCaffrey last year and it didn't happen to Barkley last year. That's why Barkley's going in the top 3, top 4, and McCaffrey's going to be a 2nd-round pick in some leagues. Quite frankly, if they had their seasons at the exact same time, and in fact, when both have been healthy on the field at the exact same time, McCaffrey has been a bigger fantasy asset.
We got sniped. Do we want to go? I'd be cool taking ETN here, bro. I've been taking ETN quite a bit and being done at running back.
We have a jet. Kyle Williams, and opens us up to
all right, Drake. Yeah, go Kyle Williams.
It opens us up to Drake May. That's why I'm saying that.
Yeah, that's fine. I've been actually taking a lot of Travis Etienne. Because I think some of the coach speak that's coming out is very pro Etienne, at least for the first 7 to 10 games. And listen, I love Tootin. I loved him. Like he's like one of my highest drafted rookies in.
He's getting steamed up a little too high for my liking.
He might have a bad rookie season, guys. He might. He could. He was raw. Like it's possible he doesn't have a great rookie season. And to me, the reason ETN's such a good pick right now is because we have a 7-year sample size of Travis Etienne being a good football player, dating back to his college profile and into the NFL. Second, he might not be on the Jaguars.
The issue that I have is
then he probably goes up in value too.
The issue that I have with a 7-year sample size is the last 2 years predominantly, he's been really bad. Like really bad. Like look at the efficiency marks, really bad.
Yeah, it's not been good, but it's also been a horrible offensive line and Doug Peterson's scheme. Like look at Rashad White efficiency wise 2 years ago, and then look at him last year. Even though Bucky Irving took over the backfield, Rashad White was much better.
I don't disagree in that aspect, but like you're asking like why he's going in this range. That would be because people are terrified that the efficiency's dropped off, and they're terrified that with them drafting a running back and him getting outplayed by Bigsby last year, people see 3 running backs in a backfield and it automatically makes them worried. Also, we get
that Matt Waldman taking Drake May from us. We're getting sniped on QBs here. We have options. We have outs.
Yeah.
Also, I have to address this question because Dylan's in my home league. What's your spot in high rollers? Interested in trading for a later spot? Where do you pick, Dylan? 6?
He picks
something like that. I would be interested in trading with you from 9 if you're picking 6.
Yeah. Oh, he wants a later spot.
He wants a later spot. Yeah. If you want, I actually think he's pilled on your boy.
Hey, let's go.
Collins, I think. Dylan's had Collins 2 years in a row, I think, or he definitely had him during his breakout season.
You know why he's had him 2 years in a row, right?
The Ladster told him. Do you want to go Warren here?
We have to. We need a onesie.
Yeah, let's go Warren. I don't think the quarterbacks are really worth it.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
I'm cool, dude. I'm cool punting quarterback, man. I've been punting quarterback a lot. We have Tet. Bryce is a good punt option.
Yep.
We have, I mean, I don't really want to punt a Giants quarterback, but
I don't think we're strong enough at quarterback right now at all.
No, probably not. But
like
cool.
Hey, hear me out.
Cool grabbing 3 QBs and going like Tua, Geno, Bryce.
This gonna sound
cool building teams like that.
This gonna sound disgusting. You know what I'm shouting right here?
What?
We could take Trevor Lawrence and then we could backdoor De'Ami Brown and we'll have the grossest Week 17 correlation you could possibly imagine.
Well, we
and it doesn't even have
our running backs. If you look at our running backs, we could grab Aaron Rodgers as a third quarterback as well.
Yep. We could
Justin Fields win. Like I think, dude, building a Tua, Aaron Rodgers, Bryce Young would be fine.
Is Tua off the board or is he still here?
No, he's 150s, bro. He's one of my highest rostered QBs. Anyways, we're on the clock here.
You want to take Benson here?
Benson or Rashad would be my highest 2.
Or Davis. We could go with Rashad. We have Godwin.
Let's go Rashad.
Okay.
I think Rashad White, dude, he was top 24 running back last year and lost his job.
So Bush, the other thing too, us taking Rashad there, if we take Tua, that's the Week 17 bounce.
Yeah, we have Achane, Tua, Rashad, and Godwin.
Yeah, okay. So it's going to be gross. It's going to be a 3-3.
I don't know about you. I'm fine with quarterback cores like this. I'm totally fine with it. 3 QBs of this caliber who aren't going to lose their job, to me, are going to give you just the same production as Drake May and CJ Stroud. 2 quarterbacks like Drake May, CJ Stroud versus Tua, Bryce Young, and Aaron Rodgers. I think you're going to get comparable production.
Can you tell me why Henderson goes ahead of Quinshawn, especially in half PPR? There's a lot more optimism on the Pats offense versus the Browns offense, and Trevion Henderson might very well catch 80 passes as a rookie.
I agree with Arthur. I think Quinshawn should be going ahead of him.
I love Quinshawn too, but at the same time, when I'm looking at Henderson and I'm looking at the spike week upside attached to Drake May, the receiving volume, like if he does get a 60% opportunity share, which is in the range of outcomes, I do expect, especially early on, Stevenson will get work.
I think Judkins might have 125 more touches than Henderson this year, legitimately. I think he legit could carry the ball 300 times.
See, and maybe I'm just higher on, like, again, I still think Judkins is going to get fed. He's still top. I think he's my RB21 in my ranking, so I still really like him. But I do think that Dylan Sampson could get some more work than you're giving out right now.
He's raw, man. He's really young. I could see him
125 more touches. It seems like a lot because I think Trevion Henderson is going to probably touch the ball about 275 times.
If you think Trevion's going to touch the ball 275, you should be drafting
or 275 opportunities. I think he's going to get 80 or 90 targets.
You should be drafting him in the 3rd round if you think.
Well, why would I draft him in the 3rd round if I can get him in the 6th?
I'm just saying you should draft him every single time. If you think
he's already one of my highest.
He's going to be lucky to get 225 because I think Stevenson's going to take a lot of carries away.
He's already one of my highest roster running backs. So
yeah. I agree. I think Quinshawn's going to carry the ball 300 times. Damn near it.
If he gets the ball 300 carries, you should be taking him in round 2.
I have him ranked in round 4.5 right now.
So either way you slice it, take these rookie running backs instead of taking Joe Mixon 2 rounds earlier.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Especially in home leagues, man, where you can get Quinshawn in like the 6th, 7th round. I would 100% fade RB like let's say you take Achane Neighbors to start your draft like we did, and you wanted to wait until Quinshon to get your RB2 and you filled out your wide receiver core, maybe even deviated for an elite onesie, I would 100% be fine with Quinshon as my RB2. And then I'll draft Brian Robinson or something 2 rounds later to make up for it.
Balance it out for sure. Like if you can balance like, dude, I am genuinely curious after these slows are done, what my ownership percentage is on Judkins and Henderson. Absolutely. Ownership percentages on Judkins and Henderson, because it feels like every time they're there in the late 6th, early 7th, I'm taking them. Like it doesn't even seem real to me. If you look at the ADP right now, after those 2 are gone, look at the running backs available.
Yeah, no, there's
like Spicy, go to the big board. Dude, I like Judkins. Like I've been taking a lot of them.
Also, Danny's Michigan bias against Quinshon. They went to the same school, Henderson and Judkins.
Yeah, no, literally though.
And Henderson played there a lot longer.
Yeah. That's actually fucking hilarious, by the way.
He said JK. I mean, maybe he's joking because he knows they went to the same school.
So after we make this pick, can you look at the board again? I just want to see what the running backs were after Henderson and Judkins, just for reference. After we make the pick, of course.
Yeah, we take a Bryce here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Probably a 3-3 at the one.
Yeah, we're gonna need 3 quarterbacks and
like,
we probably gotta take a third.
Judkins goes off the board at 71. Look at the running backs after him. DeAndre Swift. I do like Caleb Johnson, which is fine.
I don't mind Swift this year, to be honest. Now that Dobbins and Chubb have signed, I'm not actually that worried about Swift.
So Pacheco looks like after Pacheco goes, it looks like where the drop is.
Yeah, no, it's about round 9. Like once you're taking Warren and Mason and Tracy and shit, like it's off a cliff.
Yeah, I mean, prime example. Look at the wide receivers too. Like, why would I take a onesie round 6 over? Go to the round 6 players. Why would I take? I mean, actually, probably round 7. Sam Laporta in round 7 when I can pair, I don't know, Josh Downs or Caleb Johnson or one of those guys, plus the tight end I can get in round 11. And Njoku?
Yeah. ETN goes in the middle of the 11th round, and I have him ranked over Tony Pollard straight up, who goes in like the late 7th round.
Yeah, it's just kind of gross. Also, shout out the Ole Miss bias. Yeah, shout out the Pacers, by the way.
8 people. Yeah, leave that going, Spicy, and then we're gonna do a Greyhound right after this. So if you guys do want to join the Greyhound, just head into that one. It's a $35 entry, 20-second clock. If it's not ready to go right away, Spicy, we can just do the Golden next and the Greyhound last, and maybe enter it round 11 or something of the Golden.
I completely agree, Garage. Like honestly, like I can't go more than one onesie in the first 9 rounds, and that would have to be me either taking like a George Kittle or like obviously I'm not going to want 0% of McBride or Bauer, so I will mix in some early teams with those guys. But after George Kittle's off the board at tight end, why the fuck would I take one?
I agree with you though. We could go Kate Otten. That's correlated to what we have with the Dolphins and Bucks. Yeah, and we need a second tight end.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Need a second tight end.
Rodgers went
at 175. The fuck? We may have to take Jackson Dart.
Let me see. I would much rather just take Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson.
Well, we have Neighbors. Why not? I'm saying it.
Oh yeah. Well, we have what's it called now?
We have
we don't have
Warren. Yeah, we have Warren. Yeah, we could take Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
I've low-key been hammering Daniel Jones in my drafts, dude. I've been taking so much of him.
Hear me out. Because we're so strong at the onesies. I'm
the running backs and wide receivers, not the onesies.
Or fucking at the flexes, my bad. If it somehow came where Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson kept sliding into the last 2 picks, I'd be cool with both.
Go Dimes. Or no, we want to go with someone else first.
Yeah, someone else first. Keenan Allen.
We'd probably take a receiver. Yeah, I'm cool with Keenan Allen. Would be fine with me.
So Dadaroma
we could take Diami too, maybe.
Dadaroma tweeted this. I would rather have Keenan Allen here simply because Dadaroma actually tweeted this. So the last 2 years, I believe it was the sample size. It was the wide receivers with like the most spike weeks, and Keenan Allen was the top, like in the top 10 for most spike weeks. Even if we think he's dust at this point, the moment he signs with someone, his ADP is probably going to go up 20 picks.
Yeah. And you know who would be a really good fit for him? The Cardinals.
That would make sense.
The Cardinals need somebody like Keenan Allen so bad.
Yeah, that would make sense. I'm cool with either. Whichever one I get cheaper, I'm probably just going to mix my ownership on those guys.
I will take a hard Daniel Jones over Richardson stance. I will be taking a hard stance over them because I think Jones 100% is the favorite to start more games at this point in time, given Anthony Richardson's injury. It's the same injury that like basically ruined Cam Newton and Andrew Luck's careers. So I'm, I'm just not convinced that Richardson's going to start that many games this year. And maybe you could make the argument, okay, Richardson's going to be recovering from the injury earlier in the year. You want the guy who's live for week 17, not the guy who's live at the beginning of the year for this type of contest. But I just think like Daniel Jones, when he starts, has never had a run game, wide receiver core, offensive line, or coaching staff like this. And B, even on the shitty Giants in 2022 was a top 10 fantasy quarterback.
No, I feel you.
He runs and he doesn't. He has to. I love Downs. I love Pittman. I love Pearson Mitchell at cost. Like I keep drafting Colts all the time throughout the draft, so it makes sense to tack on a Daniel Jones at the end of my teams.
Yeah, let me add to this real quick. Realistically, I understand why the line would be there, or the not the line. Sorry, terminology.
Danny's vernacular is awful here. The projection.
The projection. Sorry. Thank you. I understand why the projection is there. Good. I fixed that. However, when I also see Dak Prescott's at 23.5 touchdowns and like 3,500 yards, that just makes me want to target those guys in my pick'ems more so than use them to determine my fantasy takes.
Yeah. It's like, I don't really think Burden's that great of a...
Jones went.
He went?
Of course he did.
God. We might have to take Jackson Dart here.
Coker?
We need a quarterback, man.
Yeah, we have another pick.
I know. I don't want to risk Dart.
Oh, we also don't have 3 tight ends either.
Yeah. I would rather go with Coker here, to be honest.
I think Russell Wilson's going to start.
We have to take a tight end or
Dart.
quarterback.
I don't want Dart.
Okay, well.
Tight end, Sanders.
Too late. We'll get Sanders with our next pick.
I don't think he's going to start. If he does, he's going to be 5 games. Like Russell Wilson's going to start the majority of the year, in my opinion.
Think about it this way too. This is Best Ball Mania, this is not the Greyhound or the Golden or whatever. Yeah. If the Giants crush, it's probably because Dart was starting.
The issue that I have though is he's got a week 14 bye week, and I could only possibly convince myself he starts after the bye.
I totally disagree with that.
I don't think Russell Wilson's going to stink it up.
Desperate to save their jobs would throw.
I think Russell Wilson's a better quarterback. I think Russell Wilson current day is a much better quarterback than what Jackson Dart currently is.
I don't disagree with you, but what if we're wrong on Dart's evaluation to some degree and he's just better than you think, or B, they need to save their job and put the young kid out there.
Well, that's why he's being drafted right now. It's a polarizing topic just for me. Like maybe I believe in Russell Wilson more than the average person. Like I think he's going to start the majority of the year.
I don't think that's outrageous. I just prefer. I don't really want to draft a Giants quarterback or a Browns quarterback for that matter, because I really think it's going to be like all over the place how many games everyone starts. But I think for week 17, Dart would make sense.
So this has to be JT Sanders.
JT Sanders makes the most sense here.
Would have liked the Seattle run back, but we'll deal with it.
What if the other thing too, Danny, even if you're correct.
Yeah.
Week 14 is the only time he's like week 15, 16, 17 are the only starts we get out of him.
Hopefully we get the points from the other 2 quarterbacks. And
right. And we advance the team, and Dart is like a good fantasy quarterback and runs or something by the time he's in there. Yeah. I don't think we're going to get this Greyhound in if it's not going to fill. Let's do the Golden, which is the $10 entry contest.
That should be quicker to fill.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, maybe I'm on an island here, but I didn't think Russell Wilson was as bad as maybe the haters would point him out there. I don't think he was good per se. Like some Steelers fans thought he was actually like really good. Like, no, like I'm not there, but I don't think he was like a train wreck. Like I think.
Dude, why do you think I'm all in on Neighbors? I think Russell Wilson is by far the best quarterback that Neighbors has played with.
Like I think at worst this year, you're looking at maybe a 2024 Aaron Rodgers situation with the Jets at worst.
Yeah, I could see that. I just don't. I don't think that's going to result in wins, which is why I don't think Russ is going to hold the job very long. Like even if he's playing that good and they're 2-4 or 2-6 or something like that, I think that's when we would start to see Dart potentially play.
Plus, I mean, like I think the division is also going to be really good, so maybe they go 1-5 in the division too. That could fucking hurt them. But like realistically, there's not going to be a single divisional game that they're actually favored in this year.
Well, I mean, the Cowboys will probably lose one.
Look
Actually,
at
you
the
guys
chat
beat the
real
crap
quick.
out of the
We don't
Giants
lose to
usually.
that team.
Yeah, it's the Eagles that usually drops a game to the Giants sometimes.
Like genuinely, I think they're going to be 5+ point underdogs any team that they play in the division.
Yeah, like dude, Russ at his age with no protection, I fear he might just get his ass kicked for a couple games and then it's dart time.
Yeah. Best quarterback neighbors I've ever played with is Jan Daniels. Oh
Look
yeah.
at the private chat
in
real
the
quick.
NFL. What'd you say, Spicy?
Yeah.
Look at the private chat real quick.
Oh, you said want to do a hockey pick 'em because there's a boost. Yeah, we could do one.
Yeah, we could do that for sure. I mean, we're the Canadians for a reason. We got to pay homage to our home sport. So,
Danny, don't say pay homage ever again.
Homage.
Homage.
Fuck me. Okay.
It's etiquette all over again.
Etiquette or sixth. I never pronounce the X in sixth. I just can't do it. Like I can't fit. I've tried throughout my life since I was 4 or 5 years old to pronounce sixth with the X, and I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like a mental block. I can't physically do it.
I think that's called being on the spectrum.
Maybe it is, but like I physically can't pronounce it with an X instead of a K. I can't.
Okay, let's use this profit boost here. Okay, so Odds Jam likes some of the lowers on points, like Aaron Ekblad lower 0.5 points is like minus on most of the big books. Evan Rodriguez under on points or lower on points is on big books and stuff.
Sorry, I just read Arthur's comment.
Carter Verhaeghe shots on goal hires a lock. Yeah, dude, let me see what the Steam is looking like for that.
Check his game logs too. There was one game where he had 0 and people like were pissed at him. Like outside of that, he's been getting like 3+ every game.
Are we paying attention to the draft if it's filling?
Yeah, I'm sure Spicy has a look on it.
Okay, we got 9 out of 12. Okay, yeah. If you guys want to join the draft, join the Golden in the main.
Search up Verhaeghe, VER. Yeah, there you go. 2.5 shots on goal. And if you go to his game logs, I think there's only one game where he had 0, which was game 1. Outside of that, he gets it every game, except for Carolina. But
yeah, I would take the higher there. I like that.
I like it. Some juice there. Take him off now. Now we go to hockey again.
I think I like Nugent Hopkins to have a point as well. Odds Jam likes it as well. There's a lot of steam on other books to have Nugent Hopkins get a point. He's right there.
Yep, Nugent's right there. Yeah, Nugent Hopkins, Ryan.
A higher for the points, 0.5 points.
And take the higher on Skinner's saves. He had a bad game last game. They're on the brink. See if you can get it to 24.5. Like what are the odds if it's at 24.5? Or
I don't like relying on Stuart Skinner, bro.
Well, look at how many shots he faces. That's why I'm pointing it out. So if you click his game log,
I mean, we
can change it if you like.
The Steam, according to Odds Jam, is on the lower, not on the
really.
Higher. Yeah,
I think he's gonna bounce back tonight. But fair. We could change. We could pick a different pick.
Go to Ekblad. What is his points lower?
Ekblad.
Yeah, I'm curious because he's a defenseman. Like I taking the lower on points seems kind of free to me.
What's the juice on it?
No juice. Like I kind of like.
What's his game logs? Yeah, I'm cool with signing up on that
too. Like I don't know, defenseman. Yeah. You're probably looking at like a 40% chance he burns you.
The only issue with defensemen in terms of points, realistically, for the most part, is when teams are on the power play. That's usually when, like, for example, like Evan Bouchard gets like 70% of his points, it feels like, on the power play. But yeah, I'm cool. $10 to potentially take down 89.5, 89.50.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, not bad.
There we go. And yeah, we had a profit boost. Check your lobbies. Maybe you guys have a profit boost as well. There's also a US Open profit boost as well if you guys are golfing fans.
For sure. Is Verhaeghe actually from the Hammer? I knew he was nearby. I didn't know if he was actually from the Hammer. Waterdown. That's what it was. Okay, so he's from Waterdown, which if you guys are unfamiliar
Waterdown, that's the name of the place.
You don't know where Waterdown is?
No.
Waterdown is probably like 15 minutes from Hamilton, 20 minutes. I used to play some teams that were from there.
That's funny.
Also, yeah, I wish I made some picks on it.
The fantasy PT, is that Jeff? Or Edwin, maybe?
Yeah, I like this, by the way. Sorry, repeat that?
Behind us, 2 picks behind us, the fantasy PT. Is that Jeff or Edwin, potentially?
Let me take a look.
I think that might be Jeff, like JM Thrive.
The fantasy PT. Matthew Betts. That's who it was. Shout out Matthew Betts.
I love how I go, that might be Jeff. And then I literally said his Twitter handle, JM Thrive.
Yeah, no, I just took that in. I'm like, wait, what the fuck are you talking about? Also, for those of you that are curious, maybe none of you, that's fine. I'm just going to say it anyways.
If it's about watered out, I can assure you it's nobody.
Well, watered down, yeah, it's very close to Hamilton. So shout out for Haggy. The other thing, so I joined 2 big dog slows and got the 4th pick and I got the 1st pick. So I don't mind starting off those drafts with Jamar Chase and CeeDee Lamb, respectively. Not respectfully.
You didn't take CeeDee Lamb with both of them.
GM, yo, let's go Bindles. Shout out. 100%, by the way. That Florida, Florida, if you look at their roster top to bottom, like there's actually no weaknesses. And like we saw that kind of play out in, oh my God, how?
Why didn't you connect the fucking dummy battery that I gave you?
I forgot to. It's in my bag.
Okay.
Fuck me.
All right, I'll let Danny redo his battery here. So I'll do some commentating on the draft. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Bijan, the first couple picks here. We're picking 8th this time. We were picking 9 last time. I wouldn't be opposed to going RB in the first round if we can get somebody to fall to us. Like Danny wanted to go McCaffrey last time. We could rip McCaffrey this time. I kind of want like Gibbs to fall. I wonder, has anybody seen Gibbs falling at all in underdog drafts? Because I think with the like Ragnow stuff, I could see some people maybe letting him slide to like the 107, 108 territory. Yeah, my highest rated player on the board right now would be Puka Nacua, who just went. And then my current highest rated player on the board is Achane, who you can usually get in the second round. But let's go with McCaffrey because I'm sure that's who Danny wants to go with.
W.
Yeah, we can go McCaffrey here. And then hopefully we do get one of those receivers sliding to us. I doubt we're going to get Thomas or Collins or something, but I'd be cool going London or AJ in the second round there. Yeah, he falls to the 6-7 sometimes. Yeah, I could definitely see him sign there. What's good, Spicy? Tism strikes again. Marshawn trade really helped deepen that team. Yeah, dude. I hate Brad Marshawn, but I've seen Leaf people say we should let Mitch Marner walk and sign Brad Marshawn. And I'm like, I don't know if my soul can handle Brad Marshawn being a Leaf. I don't know if I could do it. I just hate that guy so much.
Here, I'll do my best Danny impression right now.
Okay.
Nico Collins goes at the 12. Yeah, I considered him at the 8, but the juice on McCaffrey was just too good. My
favorite moment of the of the vlog is Danny getting up to the camera and going, Breece Hall, my 8th overall player. Like, that's my favorite, or my 4th overall player, whatever number he was ranked or whatever. Like, I just fucking laughed every time I heard that. Drake London probably is the best option there. And that is absolutely facts, Jason. I guarantee I would probably like Brad Marshawn the second he's on my team. Yeah, let's
respectfully, we'll go with London. Respectfully.
Yeah, there you go. Nice Danny impression. Lad over London, and you'll get a unique build. Lad at 13. Are we for real? Yeah. I mean, I think McConkey is exactly the same projection as London, realistically, except London's in a more pass-friendly offense. And I think Penix is not a better quarterback than Herbert, but I do think Penix is probably just going to de-gaff it down the field and into the red zone, whereas Herbert's a lot more conservative. I could see, London just earns targets at such a high level that I feel so confident that he's just in for like 150, 170 target season. And I think generally Drake London is a pretty underrated player. So it wouldn't shock me if London goes from, where did he finish this year? Wide receiver 7 or whatever, wide receiver 11, wide receiver 13 in points per game. And I believe after that week 1 shit game that he had, he was like over 17 points per game the rest of the year. I could very well see London having a 19 to 20 point per game season this year, just really on the back of 10 plus touchdowns. He had 100 catches last year on 157 targets. I could see him upping that to like 170 and 115 respectively. And then 1,271 receiving yards. I could see him cracking 1,500 this year. I think that I think that Penix is just going to really, really laser focus in on him. We saw that in that 3-game sample size. I don't want to extrapolate too much from those 3 games, but 16 targets and 10 targets in 2 of those games is pretty, 13 targets, 18 targets, and 8 targets in those 3 games with Penix is pretty telling. So I feel pretty good that he has like a really good projection. And like the other thing too about London is like he had a 40-point game in week 18, which sucks because nobody who drafted him got that benefit because nobody plays fantasy football in week 18. But had that game just come in week 17, I feel like we would be getting 3 to 4 more picks higher in ADP out of Drake London. If he had that 41 point game in week 17 instead of week 18, I feel like people would have a little bit better of a perception of him. Should London be over Neighbors? No, I have Neighbors. Where is he ranked for me? 9, I think. Yeah, I have Neighbors at 9. I have Puka at 7, Achane at 8, even though Achane goes way later than that. So I usually don't take him that high. And then Neighbors at 9. And the reason I have Neighbors Neighbors had a top 6 season in points per game last year on the 31st ranked offense in football in yardage and points. So if anybody's like, oh, I can't take Neighbors that high, bad offense, it's like, it's better than it was last year. And he was a top 6 receiver. So I think, texturally getting Garrett Wilson here would be nice. 6 picks past ADP. That seems nice. That would basically be my thoughts on Neighbors is like, you can nitpick bad offense, all this kind of stuff. But like, dog, with Drew Lock and Tommy DeVito, the guy was uncoverable. So I think Russell Wilson's a pretty significant upgrade over those guys. Like, let me actually take a look. Daniel Jones, I think, started, I want to see how many points per game Malik Neighbors was scoring with Daniel Jones out of the lineup. Because Daniel Jones and Russell Wilson, to me, is about the same caliber of quarterback, give or take. So without Daniel Jones, how good was Malik Neighbors would be an interesting question to me. Because if Neighbors was still like a 17 point per game guy with Drew Lock and fucking...
Wait, we almost got Devontae Adams?
Yeah, we almost did.
Fuck. That would have been nice.
Yeah. I mean, Wilson has a higher ADP, so I kind of like the texture of that.
Hear me out. I know it's against the grain, but this is a single entry contest, right? Golden?
Yep.
I kind of fucking dig what the guy at 12's doing.
Oh, Hampton and who's the other one? And Kittle?
Yeah. Like he's going against the grain.
Oh
I get it, but like
Brees here, right?
Yes.
That's insane. This is a interesting team that we got here.
By the way, this is
you're not in the thing, by the way.
I did not even realize.
In
it. Is my shit. No, I'm more zoomed in than usual, right? Okay.
I'm curious here. What are the splits of Malik Neighbors without Daniel Jones? I think generally we could probably all expect him to be as good as he was with his better quarterback on the field, which is definitely Daniel Jones over the rest of the quarterbacks. But yeah, dude, Malik Neighbors was still 17.4 fantasy points per game without Daniel Jones.
Nice.
Or sorry, hold on. I'm reading this backwards. Malik Neighbors is 19.16 points per game without Daniel Jones. He was actually better without him.
Yeah, because the other quarterbacks probably just like, fuck it. What else are we going to do?
11.75 targets per game with Daniel Jones, 10.86 without Daniel Jones. The difference was that he had 85 receiving yards, 0.57 touchdowns without Daniel Jones.
Gotcha.
But yeah, dude's just an absolute beast, man. I'm hoping, like, hopefully my league mates aren't listening to this right now. I'm hoping that I can take, let's say, Puka with my first pick at 9, or even take Achane because I just want him that bad kind of thing. And Neighbors might still slide to me in the second round at whatever pick that is, 15, just because I think that my league mates might be scared off of Neighbors because of the quarterback situation and might favor Brian Thomas, Derrick Henry, Genty, McCaffrey, whoever else goes in that range, Collins, maybe London, St. Brown, if they're on the board. I just feel so good about Neighbors, especially if I can start my draft Achane Neighbors. That's kind of ideally what I want out of my 9 spot. It just depends which one am I going to have to take first.
I am praying that I get a late pick in my home league this year, because if I could somehow pair up Nico Collins and Christian McCaffrey, I'm running to the bank.
Yeah.
Or I mean, I wouldn't complain about a Jamar Chase or a CeeDee Lamb, but I just don't want to pick 7th or 8th. Like 7th, 8th, 9th is caca.
I know. I think 9 is fine because you catch the back end of the second round, and you also have a better third round pick.
You need one fuck up from someone ahead of you based on my
I don't think it's necessarily a fuck up that you need because I'm guaranteed at 9, your next pick is 16, right?
Yeah.
I'm guaranteed.
Do you want Derrick Henry
or better with my
do you want Derrick Henry though is what I'm asking.
At 16 I'd be fine with him.
But like compared to the other options on the board,
well, even AJ Brown I'd be fine with, who's my 17th ranked player.
Like to me that's just a tier gap below like
and I guarantee you Derrick Henry will go ahead of me.
I hope so.
Either after my 9th pick in the 10, 11, 12 and
I hope he goes
there.
I hope he goes before Christian McCaffrey in my league so I can take Christian McCaffrey after.
Yeah. I'd be down for Pickens here, the best receiver in the NFL. Right there.
That was hilarious how I said that without even clocking.
An elite talent, George Pickens.
Yeah,
let's go with George.
I know this doesn't mean much. I'm just saying it. Apparently, though, based off his behavior already, like people are saying, like George Pickens has been like almost like a model teammate already.
That's fucking hilarious that you actually believe that.
No. I'm just saying, like, based off all the accounts, like in Pickens himself has said, like, the atmosphere of this franchise, the culture compared to where I'm coming from Pittsburgh is just way different.
Dude, that is so there's no way you believe your culture is better than Pittsburgh's.
I'm just telling you what I saw on the Cowboys reporting.
That's crazy.
I'm not saying
George Pickens got 3 targets in week 2 and throw fucking hands at my.
I don't think we'll argue that talent's ever been the problem for Pickens. We're just hoping his head's on straight.
Yeah.
All I'm saying. I don't think you can fucking. I don't think you could take that for fucking literal. I'm just saying what I saw reported from the Cowboys reporters.
That's peak June right there. Because if George Pickens thinks the culture in Dallas is better than the culture in Pittsburgh, he's fucking wilding.
I don't know. Yeah, source from George Pickens, by the way, on his feel for the culture. Now, one bad pass from Dak is going to be I'm not going to read out what. Steelers' culture is way worse than the Cowboys. According to Pickens, that's what he said.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know about that, dude. Like, I just don't know about that. Like,
I'm not saying I agree with it.
Clapping at each other on Twitter,
dude. I'm not saying that's why I'm drafting him. I'm drafting him because I love his fit in the offensive projection. I'm just saying that is what's been.
Hear me out here. This next pick, do you want to continue the 2022 wide receiver class train and take Chris Olave?
I mean, what contest is this?
This is the Golden, the single entry.
Okay. Because I was going to shout Trevion Henderson or RJ Harvey. Trevion Henderson is a bring back for week 17.
Okay, we can go Henderson. I just the hard time, it's not anything against Henderson. I just have a hard time clicking Henderson over these receivers because I like the 8th and 9th round running backs better than the wide receivers. So I tend to get Pacheco, Brian Robinson, Aaron Jones, and those guys more because I would rather have Olave, Godwin, and those guys here.
For what it's worth, if we hadn't gone with Henderson there, actually, I would have shouted Odunze because San Francisco and Chicago play week 17.
Yeah, that's fair. Even if that's the week 17 correlation, I have a hard time selecting Odunze over Godwin and Olave. Just as a holistic season projection, I have a hard time selecting Odunze over those guys.
Yeah. I think it's been clear though that I am higher on the Bears offense than you are. And I'm lower on
but like I think even you can admit that Chris Olave's target share and Godwin's projection is probably an absolute nutted outcome for Odunze.
Oh, no, I don't disagree in that aspect. I'm just saying, like, in terms of like best ball specifically, like utility of spike weeks, I actually do think Rome Odunze might have comparable spike weeks to those guys. Sure. It's just like the factor is like you're probably getting like more consistent production from those guys. Yeah, no, dude, I'm not saying I believe it verbatim. I'm just saying that's what's been said. Like Pickens, like mentally is at his best spot he's been in a while.
I guess,
that's what's been reported.
Doesn't like Xavier Legette look like he's going to break out this year too? Like by the same token, if we're going to believe all the offseason reporting.
Speaking of Legette, did you see he's dating Glorilla?
Yeah, I saw the album cover.
He's on her album. He was in the fucking trailer for the album.
That's hilarious. I tend to agree, Saber. I think Tyler Shuck and Spencer Rattler will be better than the quarterback play that Derek Carr was not on the field for last year. And Olave was just not. He was like the one worry I'd have with Olave is that he was so mentally dejected last year that I don't know how well he's going to play as a result. And he it wouldn't shock me if Olave got dealt at the deadline as well.
Yep. Sorry, I was fucking trying to find the Pickens thing. My bad.
I believe you, Danny. You don't need to show me proof. I need Pickens to be good. I got a ton of underdog exposure. Better not trip. I mean, I just traded for Pickens in our Dynasty League, our Don't Give a Flock Dynasty League. I traded Cam Ward and a second in 2027, and then also a pick swap from a 2 to a 3 in 2026 for George Pickens, Kyron Williams, and then what was the other thing I got in that deal? I think that was that it?
What was the rest
The
of
trade
it?
I made in Don't Give a Flock. Let me take a look one more time. I traded. You and I were talking about this, by the way, in the video that we recorded about trade strategy, and then I made the trade shortly after.
Which
David Njoku, that was the other player. So it was Cam Ward, a 2027 second, a 2026 second for third swap is what I gave up.
Yep.
And I got David Njoku, Kyron Williams, and George Pickens. So I gave up, I would say Cam Ward probably the best asset in that deal.
Yeah,
Pickens, Kyron, and Njoku not worth as much individually as Cam Ward is worth, but I feel like I got 3 good pieces there for a best ball.
You down for Pink Bag Boy?
Dude, I think Debo ADP texture is nice here, to be honest. It's 11 picks after ADP.
ADP texture here or the correlation with the week 17?
I'd rather have Williams later, to be honest. We're a little weak at wide receiver. I don't want an ACL tear wide receiver as our fourth guy.
He could fall back to you. You never know.
He could, yeah. Ayuk and Diggs, the 2 ACL tear guys, I want them to be my 5th receiver, ideally. Because of the questionable name. Like, and I mean, Diggs is probably on pace to play a little sooner than Ayuk. It's just with both of them, I feel better about them being my 5th receiver.
Also, that was what I was referencing, by the way.
Yeah. Light mode, my eyes, bro.
Says the guy who runs Discord Lite. Like, Spicy's laughing in the background. Guys, comment in the live stream right now if you're watching. What's more of a disgrace? Twitter Lite or Discord Lite?
Twitter.
So
Saying
serious.
Twitter is probably more of a disgrace. Also, to me, like X, as it's called now, Lite is a disgrace. That's an absolute disgrace. I don't know why, but
why don't you go on Discord and show them what your Discord looks like?
Dark mode everything is probably the correct answer, but I'm so used to dark mode or light mode Discord that I just can't go back. I don't know.
Just show them what it looks like.
I don't want to. I'm just used to it. I don't know. I don't know why. It's the one platform that I'm like, yeah, light mode. Let's go.
That's where I am at with Twitter. Is I'm just so used
dark
to it.
Supremacist.
Any light mode is ground. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I just got used to Twitter like that, like you did with Discord. I like Twitter because especially when I'm in public, I don't have to like squint. Like I could just fucking look at it.
Yeah. Josh Downs, very clearly the answer here, right?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, let's roll it Downs.
Won't complain.
It's very hard for me not to end up with 5 wide receivers through round 8. It's hard for me to do it.
Spicy talking shit in the back. Both are disgusting.
You both chomp into a Kit Kat without breaking it too. I just don't eat.
I've done
Kit
that
Kats.
before. I've done that before.
I'm a break the Kit Kat guy for sure if I eat Kit Kats, but it's like probably my like 12th chocolate bar of choice, so I almost never eat them.
Yeah, I've done it before when I was a kid, but yeah, no, I usually split it into the sticks. I know what you're saying, but I can't
what's the 101 of
time.
chocolate bars, by the way? Let's have a little side tangent. And also, Arthur, you might as well submit a team for review so we can talk about this while while we talk about chocolate bars.
I'm trying to think, like, dude. When I was young, for some reason, I really liked Mars bars.
Yeah, Mars bars are decent. This is an insane take by Saber. This is an insane take. Holy shit. Big Turks?
Big Turks.
You're on Mars for that take.
What the fuck? What? Ew. Brother, ew. Brother, ew.
Bailey, this is the Golden. This is the Golden.
Yeah.
Do you want to check the Greyhound, by the way, Spicy, to see if it's doable, if we're going to be able to get a Greyhound? I want to draft one of the Greyhound teams. We need you guys to fill this thing out, man. Maybe we could try the 30-second clock. Maybe that one's better. Because maybe if that one's better, then it would maybe work.
It's 100 grand is unhurried big time. I've never actually tried that.
I don't think. Do we even have?
I've never had Pocky either. I know.
Yeah, that might be a Canadian or not a Canadian thing. Twix
Twix is
would be
good,
my
too.
answer.
Twix
as
is
well.
good too.
Twix would be my answer
Twix
for
is
the
good.
best chocolate bar.
Yeah. Twix is good too. I remember when I was a kid, I really freaking liked, like the big wafer swirls that were in the cans. Is that what
like a
Pocky
Twix,
is?
yeah.
But is that not like Pockies?
I don't know
Like
what that is.
like, you know what I'm talking about? Like the swirls and like you bite into it, it's half wafer, half chocolate.
Yeah,
I used to love those as a kid.
Kinder Bueno or gas too.
That's gas. Really, like anything too. Like if I'm having a coffee or if I'm having milk or something, I could just like dip. Like that's solid too.
The 101 of chocolate bars is Coffee Crisp, in my opinion.
Coffee Crisp, a good combo.
Coffee Crisp would be my number one. I would say Coffee Crisp. These are my most purchased chocolate bars, which I guess you could probably say by default would be my favorites. Coffee Crisp, Twix, Three Musketeers, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, Snickers. Those would be my top 5 most purchased chocolate bars.
Yeah. No, I think that makes sense. Also, Dak's still going to be on the board here, right? We don't have to take him here, but we do have Pickens. And May. May is another one, by the way.
Butterfinger's an old man chocolate bar, bro. What do you say? Oh, Henry next?
You done it run a 2-build with May and Prescott?
Yeah, we could. Do we have another pick right after this one? I guess it's a little bit further after, but
yeah, we gotta hope that they go to like the 10th and 11th, right?
Scroll up. Do we have anything at the top here? You want to grab Tracy?
Shahid or Tracy? Either or.
Let's go Tracy, man. I don't like Shahid. Tracy or Shahid is kind of a small
Shahid.
Sample size merchant. It feels like had he not gotten injured last year, he probably tapers off and doesn't have nearly as good of a season.
Sure, but I think we're kind of drafting them there with that assumption. Otherwise, he'd be higher.
So, man. I feel like people are like, dude, he was like wide receiver 20 in points per game last year.
He was higher than that.
I know, but like people are like freaking out over him, and I'm like,
let me see. Well, I mean, what's his ADP at wide receiver?
56.
56. Yeah, like he was 349 receiving yards and 3 receiving touchdowns, and was that 5 games?
I know you can't convince me he should go ahead of Etienne or Charbonnet. Like that's just baked, in my opinion. There's no way he should be going ahead of those guys.
Yeah. He's way better than MVS. MVS isn't even a combo.
Yeah, he's better than MVS, but I just like don't love that.
We'll just take Prescott here, right?
Yeah, three Musks are elite.
Muskie. No way! No way!
Oh, that's
not Dak. Look at the jersey.
You want to take Drake or?
Where's his ADP?
It's a little bit further down, but we could still take him. I'd be cool taking ETN and being done at running back if you want to do that instead and wait on Drake.
Let's get May now.
I think we'll miss out on quarterbacks if we don't take one.
Yeah. I don't. That completely threw me off. Did that guy at least have Lamb? Did he at least have Lamb? Or did he just take a naked Dak?
Naked Dak sounds like it'd be up your alley.
That team's urine. Sorry.
That team is so urine. His wide receiver 3 is going to miss the first 6 games.
That's 2, 4, 3, 1. Ur.
Guy's going to have fucking Adam Thielen as his wide receiver 4.
Gross. 2, 4, 3, 1.
Check is that the 30-second Greyhound Spicy that you're in right now, or is that the 20-second?
The 30-second one had no one in it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we may just have to do another BBM if you got time for it, Spicy.
All right.
Would you guys?
I'll just leave it like this though until
sleeper team.
Yeah, you might as well just leave it until the end of the draft. See what happens.
Full transparency. I tried to make Nakey Dak a thing after I called it the Nakey Bakey.
Yeah, never again. Hershey's Cookies and Cream to me is overrated. I think it's one of the more overrated chocolate bars there is, to be honest. It's so sweet. That's my issue with it. It's just like the sweetest fucking thing ever.
I was going to try to say, how do I describe it with if someone saying in the comments, because I know for a fact people are going to comment now, what the fuck? Of course you want your chocolate sweet. Why wouldn't you want your chocolate?
It's too sweet.
It's a little bit too sweet. I don't disagree. Like it's almost like you feel the fucking cankers and you feel the freaking.
So is Arrow, for what it's worth. Arrows are too sweet too, in my opinion.
Yeah. Like Coffee Crisp is enough bitter but sweet, like where I like the texture of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I will say, as much as I love Mexican food, easily the woat candy culture of all time. Mexican candy is trash.
Oh, you're not a big Taki enjoyer?
No, dude. Like tahini, like mixing tahini spice with like chocolate is like a federal crime. I'm not opposed to this take. You get a good dark chocolate bar, it kind of goes hard.
Okay, Unk.
That is an Unk take for sure.
All right, bud.
Once Danny stops playing COD like a juvenile,
Hey, do you warm up your milk in the fucking microwave as well?
Yeah. I don't know. Also, can you hit go to draft, by the way, Spicy? That's bothering me.
Yeah.
I know we could see the board. So like when the Greyhound fills, but I feel like we need to see it like that. Yeah. They do. Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah. Dark chocolate Swiss dark chocolate. Like you get to talk about your culture all the time. My background's Swiss, dude. Nobody does dark chocolate like Swiss people, man. It's fucking gas.
Who you got for this UFC fight Saturday? I got Buckley. I haven't actually seen the card yet. I was actually at my buddy's for the pay-per-view though. I was at my buddy's for the fucking pay-per-view. We went to dinner in Guelph and then I pulled up there. What are you reading?
I'm laughing because Brock says white New Balances and I have white Skechers. All white Skechers are the shoes that I wear.
Bro, we need to get you
even more Unk than white New Balances.
Next thing you're gonna tell me is you have a visor.
Nah, dude. You know what's also Unk as hell? The wraparound like racing sunglasses.
The goggles,
like fishing / like NASCAR sunglasses. Okay.
Now you're gonna tell me you wear jorts and khakis.
We're on the clock here.
You wear jorts and khakis?
No, I don't wear jorts.
Ray Davis?
No. I feel like we gotta take a receiver here, right?
We don't have any stack up.
I'm cool with Besh or Kirk or Hollywood.
Go Besh. I like Besh.
Yeah, let's roll with Besh.
I'll never complain with a good Besh.
Bro
has a walker. Oh, fuck. The thing is, I would make the joke that he wears a fanny pack, but I'm actually the one that wears the fanny pack.
I wear a fanny pack only in the airport. It's the only place I bring a fanny pack to.
Bush will see. Every time we go somewhere in the States, I'm not even joking you, I will not leave the hotel room without a fanny pack on.
Yeah. I mean, you wear a fanny pack all the time, and it kind of bugs me when you like bring like your whole what did you forget when we went to New York? Like the most basic human thing. You forgot your wallet.
Credit card.
This guy didn't bring his wallet to New York.
I didn't bring my wallet.
And he brought like a fanny pack instead. I'm like, how the fuck are you forgetting your wallet places?
That was so funny. When we went into the fucking to buy beers at the baseball game, I had to show them my passport as a fucking identification because I didn't have my wallet.
I might just get it. My Flock League team just has to be Unk at this point, right?
Yeah. Nah, it definitely is more Unk, but holy fuck, like I get paranoid when I'm in a different country. I have to have something like all my identification on me at all times.
So for what it's worth,
my
fanny packs for guys are kind of big in Canada because of Lululemon, which is a Canadian company. But I only wear a fanny pack in the airport because I don't want to like lose my passport or any of that shit. That's the only reason I wear a fanny pack. I've never worn a fanny pack in any other context.
Dude, I swear when I'm in the States, I bring my fanny pack with my passport in literally like, you know, when you go to CIBC, Corey, and or like whatever bank you're at, and when you take your withdrawal, like it gives you the envelope.
Yeah.
I literally will leave my American cash in that envelope at all times in my fanny pack.
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to focus on the clock here.
Tucker Craft.
You want to go Craft?
We need a tight end.
See, it sucks that we went Craft here because we could have taken Jordan Love with our last pick then.
I would have suggested it, but like we were kind of on.
Love is still on the board.
Yeah,
shit.
That's what I mean. But we need a tight end. So
yeah, we're not going to have Craft fall back to us, I don't think.
Like worst case scenario, JJ McCarthy. No, they don't play. Who the Packers play this year?
We have outs for quarterback. We have Penix still on the board, and we have London. So,
who are the Packers playing Week 17 this year?
Remember the mnemonic? Big dog in the frozen tundra.
Oh, Ravens.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So we can't take Lamar Jackson, unfortunately. But
I know how to rob Danny on vacation.
Hey, the thing is, though, you're gonna have to get through me to get it. Like it's gonna be on me.
Danny, you're so clueless. You'll just leave it somewhere. Let's be 100% honest here.
Oh, dude, you see me. That doesn't leave my shoulder. I have my family.
Actually, yeah, I guess you're right about that. You don't put it on tables and shit.
Yeah, but bro, in the picture we took with Mason and the Domain boys at the baseball game, I literally have the fanny pack on.
I'm saying Lululemon fanny packs specifically are big. I'm not saying they're big as in all guys wear Lululemon fanny packs. I'm saying There's probably a higher ratio in Canada because of Lululemon.
Yeah. Also, mine's champion.
Yeah.
I'll trade you Nikki Dak.
Danny's already got Nakey Dak in his closet somewhere.
The fact that I had to say Nikki Dak because I said Nakey Bakey at one point is insane. Also, Jesus, everybody loves the onesies here. Everybody's doing the same thing as us.
Just tell him you saw Nakey Dak running on the beach and he'll be distracted. A whole lot of man to get through.
A whole lot of man, whole lot of girth.
Everyone who comes to the Austin meetup is gonna know that Danny's entire identity is in that fanny pack.
No bullshit. When I was in Florida, first of all, the story here, everybody's got the uncles that kind of like when you're younger, they try to like toughen you up, right? So I went to Florida when I was 11 years old, and we went to Orlando, and basically that whole trip, my uncles were just like trying to toughen me up. And at the end of the trip, we went to a Kobe spot to go get some dinner. And my one uncle gifted me a shirt that just says, "I lost my pussy in Orlando." Not even joking you. There's a picture of a cat. I lost my
story at least 15 times.
I'm telling the audience as well. So on that trip,
like you wanted a reaction from me.
On that trip, bro, I shit you not. I would wear, the PSP. I would have my PSP, and in my I would have a big black bag with like all like the games, like the movies that you could play, everything, right? And so I went into the kitchen once because I couldn't find my bag, and I yelled out, I'm like, "I lost my black bag. Has anybody seen my black bag?" And my uncle just turns to me, "Have you checked between your legs?"
Yeah, is that where the PSP is located?
Oh, wow.
Sorry, I had to do it. I do. Everyone had the joke when they were. Yeah. If you were our age, PSPs were huge when we were a kid. Everyone goes, "Pretty small penis."
Yeah, every small single penis person is a classic.
Would abbreviate PSP into that. Literally every single person.
I remember. Fuck.
But George said, "I know you're probably still upset." I mean, I'm not upset enough to not watch Edmonton and support a Canadian team. So yeah, I've been watching the Stanley Cup.
Fuck.
Okay. We got to make a pick here.
Penix? There's no way.
That's devastating.
Who else do we have?
Do we want to backdoor Bryce, maybe? Or do you want to just take a different player here and then figure it out?
Gino? Is Gino gone?
I'd be cool with Tillman.
I like Gino too. Yeah. So we'll take I think we need a tight end too, though.
We might need a running back as well.
Fuck, we kind of need everything. Eckler.
Yeah, let's go. Let's roll with Eckler.
We got skinny Eckler, Debo, and Pickens.
Okay, we got to go 3 quarterbacks here too. What are the bye weeks for? We could go Bryce Young. It's just that he has the same bye as May.
Yeah. He couldn't have gone any other quarterback.
I know, right?
You didn't have to take the naked Penix. Fuck.
We could have to take the naked and then backdoor Terrence Ferguson for our third tight end.
Could do that.
I'd be cool rather Stafford here.
I want Gino because we got Besh.
Oh right, yeah, we do have Besh. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Also, third quarterbacks might have to just be one of the Colts
with our third QB again.
Dude, I don't think we have the opportunity to draft any other non-tight ends and quarterbacks at this point.
Oh yeah, no, we're done at running back and wide receiver for sure. This is just going to be every team of mine. Is just figuring out what of the late round quarterbacks and tight ends are the right ones to go after.
Like, how are we in the 13th and this is the situation we're at?
Bailey, you're a London Knights fan. Get out of here, dude.
Yucky. Also, did you change? Mike's crazy. Did you change your fucking profile pic midway through the fucking stream?
No, he had a London Knights Leafs thing there. I didn't know you were from around here, Bailey. That's clean. But also, let's go Rangers.
Yeah, maybe I'm tripping.
Does Hamilton have a fucking OHL team?
OHL?
Yeah.
Well, the Bulldogs, they play minors. Remember, the Bulldogs. But
you don't have an OHL team.
I don't know if it's in the OHL.
No, it's an AHL team.
Is that where it is now? No, it's not in the AHL anymore.
Okay, anyways, the AHL. Do you want to go? You want to go Gino here?
Yeah. Yeah, we kind of have to. We can't punt him, unfortunately.
Hamilton's an AHL team, isn't it?
Yeah, dude. I'm not even trying. I told you.
What? Oh, he did
Yeah,
change
like he changed it midstream. I told you.
Okay. Maybe he
Different account.
maybe it's a different account. Yeah.
That would make sense. Okay.
The FSC gonna have
That's
75% Daniel Jones and watch him. Dude, I'm gonna have a lot of Daniel Jones. I'm not gonna lie. Anytime I need a third quarterback, I might be.
Yeah, I was tweaking for a second. Like he changed his profile pic midway through the stream, right?
Maybe. Who would y'all tier worthy up into? I would assume you're talking from a dynasty perspective here.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Dynasty rankings. If I go right now, Dynasty Superflex sort by Daniel McKinnon. Yes, by the way, if you are looking for me on the site, Danny McKinnon. Wide receiver, I have Xavier Worthy at 23 overall. The next tier of guys, like you're looking at like the JSN, like honestly, like what's the cost right now to tier up Worthy into his teammate?
Rice. Frankly, I think that I would rather just hold who I have than take a firm stance on those two guys because I could kind of see it going any which way. That's my stance on those two receivers is that I like both of them, but I don't know which one ends up coming out on top.
Well, if Rice is healthy, I would definitely.
Yeah, I prefer Rice slightly, but it's not like a huge difference between the two. I think if I had an answer for like who would I want to tier up Worthy into, it's probably how close can I get to Harrison, McMillan, Garrett Wilson, Jackson Smith, and Jigba guys.
Yeah, even if you have to add a first, I'm definitely willing to do that.
You'd be willing to give up Worthy in a first for Harrison or McMillan?
Yeah.
I would not be willing to do that.
Why not? Mid to late first, you wouldn't be able.
What is Worthy worth in terms of 2025 pick?
Well,
like
okay,
107, 108?
Yeah.
So you would have paid a future first to go from
maybe not, probably not. Wait, okay.
To get McMillan?
108. Who's 108 this year? That was Judkins. I would have had Judkins ranked higher. He would have been about 109. I would have been willing to mid to late first.
You would? I wouldn't be willing to do that. I'd be willing to do a first or second swap, but not for a straight first.
You're just not going to get the second swap on it. No. This is another thing too. I've been actually aggressively drafting Rashid Rice. I think I'm perfectly comfortable taking him on the 2-3 turn. I think he's going to be a second round pick by the time August rolls around. Otherwise, like why is Garrett Wilson
not have much exposure if he is, to be honest?
Yeah. Also, I think this is a fair take.
What?
In redraft, I would take Worthy in Dynasty, obviously, but in redraft, I think it's fair to take Jame over.
I think they're pretty comparable in redraft for sure.
Yeah, I would take Worthy in Dynasty, but I don't think that's outrageous.
Mm-hmm.
Mason's taking him at the late second.
We probably want.
That's where I've been too.
Do we want to grab Cam Ward?
Hunter Henry.
Oh yeah, Hunter Henry. We need a tight end. Yeah, you're right. I was gonna say, do we want to grab Cam Ward because we could backdoor Cam Ward, Chigakonkwo, and
you know what I just took him, by the way. So we'll take Henry for sure, but we have an absolute onslaught of a game stack for week 17. Patriots Jets. There might be fucking 35 total points in that game. Man.
Well, you know what? If it's what you need, what you need, nobody else is going to do it. So
facts. Who knows? Maybe by then, like Justin Fields gets benched for a game or misses a game, and they throw in like a super passive fucking quarterback that's going to check it to Breece Hall and force feed is number one.
Yeah, and Hunter Henry catches 2 touchdowns.
That's what you need. That's what you need. Trevion Henderson catches like 8 passes.
Oh yeah, I forgot we had Henderson too.
Joe Flacco. Fucking hell. Quarterback 3 needs to be Dart in the 18th.
I disagree. I'd rather have Daniel Jones in the 17th than Dart in the 18th.
Yeah, I think I would too. And I'm not even the Daniel Jones guy. With that being said, we also have Down, so that makes the decision easier.
Yeah, that's why I said Daniel Jones.
Yes, sir.
I mean, if Cam Ward falls, we should just take him, to be honest. He's going to start the whole year. He has way less concern than Daniel Jones does to lose his job.
Yeah. What do we need? One more wide receiver, a quarterback, and a tight end as our last 3 picks?
Yeah. If we go Cam Ward, we can take Io Manor or Lockett with our last pick, or Chigakonkwo we could go 2 straight Titans if we wanted to. I think we should take Ward if he slides here.
I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I won't complain about Ward. I actually think he's
Plus, we have May, I guess, is ceiling, but like Geno and May feels kind of sexless a little bit to some degree.
Who the Titans play week 17? I'm trying to think off my head.
It's a bad team. It's like the Saints, I think.
It is 100% the Saints.
Yeah.
Well, let me see. Jawan Johnson, tight end.
We can take Jawan Johnson, yeah, with our last pick.
And then we can mix in a Titan, maybe a
We could, I
Lockett.
mean, we could take Chig though too. Like Chig
Yeah.
is on the board,
Chig works. Chig or Juwan Johnson, put those guys in the queue.
and then we need a Titans receiver.
Lockett or Io Manor.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
I think we could probably get away with Io Manor or
Yeah.
Restrepo if you even wanted to scroll the F down.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind Lockett either. Okay, let's look at the structure of our wide receiver core. Is early season or late season going to matter more for us? Probably late season, right?
Yeah,
So
that's why I kind of like Io Manor or Restrepo.
Yeah. Okay, I'm cool with it. I would rather Io Manor than Restrepo for sure, but
Yeah,
just because even if Restrepo were to become like, let's just say hypothetically an injury happened, he was actually like a starting slot receiver. It's like at the same time, Io Manor's upside comparatively, if an outside role opened up, would be higher.
I would like a
Half
few
PPR.
shares of Restrepo throughout Best Ball Mania portfolio. I'd like to take him like 5 times.
Yeah, that's not
But
bad.
at the same time, I also wouldn't mind.
It's
just
a waste
letting my
doing it in the
shares
Golden, though.
August.
It's a waste doing it in the Golden. You'd want to do it in the BBM.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, this is a BBM though, isn't it?
So Golden.
Oh, this is the Golden still. Okay. I was gonna say it kind of makes sense if you're a Restrepo believer to just wait until he gets steamed up into where he's being drafted.
Sorry. I read Raphael's comment for a second. My eyes opened up, and then I realized, like,
DK.
Chimere.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Like, without context, that will just read fucking
Yeah.
different.
Slur.
Yeah. That's why I was like, wait, what the fuck? And then I'm like, oh, he's talking about the fucking Florida receiver. Okay,
Yeah.
thank God. I was gonna
One
be
quarterback with accuracy scoring. That's interesting. Ward at 103 is a super reach. I had to do a double take. Yeah, I mean, it's in a 1 quarterback league. That's a mega reach for sure.
wait. Yeah, I agreed. Am I crazy to think I can do? Think Purdy can do what big? I don't think you're crazy. The problem that I have with that comparison specifically is that Baker's volume in his offense comparatively to what we can expect from Purdy's is just light years different. Like, that's my issue with it. Even when Purdy had his 3rd in MVP voting or 4th in MVP voting 2 years ago, like, he was still like a 19 point per game scorer. It's just because the volume in the Shanahan offense just simply isn't going to be there. He's going to be extremely efficient. I don't think that's the debate. It's just, especially compared to other quarterbacks in that range, like Dak's hit 20 plus point per game into the last 2 years he's been fully healthy. Other quarterbacks in that range, if we look at off the board after we make our pick. Yeah, we can go check here.
Yeah, we could go Conquo here.
Okay. Go to the board, spicy the big board, overall, like a draft board. Okay, so the quarterback's around Purdy's range. Why he's kind of like more so at the bottom of that tier than the top of that tier for me. I just look at the volume situations of everyone outside of Justin Fields, and it's tough for me to picture the 49ers offense having more volume or than anybody than maybe Herbert there. Herbert and Fields. Everybody else is going to throw the ball more.
I don't know, man. The 49ers actually threw the ball a decent amount last year, and Purdy ran the ball a little bit more than he usually does.
Counterpoint, there was no McCaffrey, and
yeah,
when McCaffrey was healthy, we know what they want to do.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I still like Purdy, especially.
I mean, Purdy's like been back end QB1 production anytime the 49ers guys are healthy. I'm kind of on. Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked if he had a top 5 season, top 6 season in points per game. It wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, and again, I think this is reasonable. If McCaffrey's not as efficient as he was maybe prior to injury, that's also another factor. I can see them throwing the ball more. It's just like when I know that the other quarterbacks in that range are going to throw the ball more.
Yeah, Io Manor here.
Yeah, let's do that. That's kind of how I do that.
Yeah, the only thing I would say back to you, Dylan, is I think them going pass heavy is away from Kyle Shanahan's identity. And I think if they were worried about McCaffrey's health, they would probably just be more likely to run the ball more with Garendo and still be a run heavy offense.
Yeah, sorry.
Restrepo is a 0. Didn't you say that about Puka, Mason?
Oh.
And for what it's worth, I'm not saying that Restrepo is somebody I'd probably be actively drafting, but if I do 150 BBMs, I'll take 5 swings on Restrepo with my 18th round pick.
See, that's something
on Cam Ward stacks probably only as well, or with a
BBM
run back. Yeah, BBM.
Absolutely. We're feeling it. We're fired up. We're ready to go.
I see the voice of God.
Also, Mason, you see those BBMs, those big dogs. He's in that big dog, both of them with me.
I know he's picking. I pick 11 in my big dog, and Mason's at 12.
It was so funny because when it was filling up, I'm like, "Yo, Mason, come join the slow big dogs." He's like, "Brother, I'm in every single one," and sure enough, both of them he's in.
That's funny.
Shout out. Pick 111.
Mason, did you flex the entry last night that I put out? The NBA one?
Let's hope so.
Hopefully, because I unfortunately ruined Mason's streak. I told him the one pick that missed to use for the streak. The friggin' Shea rebounds. Every rebound of that game, too, that Shea got was like off the rim and to the 3-point line where frickin' Shea was standing. And he got like 4 rebounds like that. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. Like the other thing, too, he used your Wiggins line a couple nights ago, and I said use Shea. You know, Shea finished a half point under the hook.
Yeah, which is
under the hook.
Yeah, I know. He screwed the two of us as well on that.
39.5, and he had 39 points and rebounds.
Spicy, I'm curious. Go to the pick'ems really quick. I'm just curious what my actual record is over the last couple that I've done. So
Yeah.
that's 3 for 4.
Yeah, my guy too. Like, fortunate. Hamilton.
Yeah. How many is that in a row? 3 plus 2 plus 4 plus 2 plus 3. That's 14 of my last 17 that I've hit.
Nice.
That's insane. Those, yeah. Then we hit that Bridges one there too. Or was that you who did that, Spicy? That Jokic Bridges? I don't think that was me.
That
was me. That was me.
Well, I know. I also hit a couple, but since I wasn't making TikToks on them, he said the balance was low, so I stopped. But yeah, I gave Spicy $100. I've been doing 3-pick flexes almost every time. Okay, that makes sense.
Since I moved. Oh, okay, I see. Okay, where are we picking here? Please give us a high pick this time. Would be nice.
Wait. Jaguars wide receiver cornerback Travis Hunter getting his vacation started off right. Take a guess where he'll be spending his month off. This is the picture.
Conditioning. Oh, we're on the clock here. Do we want to go with Genty, maybe?
Sure, we haven't.
Or we want to take the discount on St. Brown?
Take Genty. I'm definitely taking Genty over Brown. But he's on the fucking fishing boat. He's getting ready.
Oh yeah.
Him being a big fisherman was like, yeah, you hear him talk about it. He's like, holy fuck, like he knows his stuff. Hear me out.
You want to go Genty and the big dog?
Let's go Bowers.
Ugh. I hate my teams when I take Bowers. We can, but I hate.
You're never going to take him on your own account.
Yeah. I mean, I only take Bowers. I definitely will not take him at 14 on my own account. The only time I'm ever getting Bowers is if he falls to 18, 19, 20. Because I'll take my 4% exposure blanket on Bowers because I just don't want to draft a tight end early.
Question. Outside of the Geno Smith that I got us to draft last one, how many Geno Smith / Raider stacks are you actually drafting?
Not many, but if I get Geno Smith Raider stacks, it'll be how we did it, which is I took Besh and then I get Geno later. Not I have Bowers or Genty and I take Geno.
So if that's the case, why not experiment it here?
I guess. I don't know.
You're not going to do it on your personal.
I just don't think the Raiders are going to crush this year. I think that they'll probably be a league average offense. It'll probably be Genty and Bowers getting it done. Do I see them smoking the field where they're both back end first, early second round values? I just don't. I'm kind of scarred from the Jets last year a little bit.
Maybe. I get that. However, 2025 Geno is much better than 2024 Rodgers. I trust the direction where they're going comparatively. And quite frankly, like it's just probably going to be one of the most consolidated situations in the league. Like those are the clear 2 superstars on the offense. Is Jacoby Myers going to get a big workload? Like is Jack Besh going to suddenly be a big difference maker year one? Like I think he could be like, fine. I think Myers and Besh are good complementary players, but I mean, realistically, how many touches are Genty and Bowers going to combine for in this offense?
Probably a lot.
Like I think,
said the same thing about Wilson and Brees last year.
Maybe, but again, I think it was a little bit more volatile of a situation. I also think the Raiders' offensive line this year is even better than what the Jets were last year, and I also trust the direction instead of the.
Well, I mean, coaching was how the Jets failed, and that's what happened. So
yeah, and I mean, do we have any issues in terms of the culture and the coaching with what's going on with the Raiders? I trust Chip Kelly as well.
I don't have no issues, but I have less than I did about the Jets.
Not to mention like just the overall scheme that we saw from Chip Kelly and Ohio State and the fast pace that they play at every single stop he's been in the NFL. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of warming up to the aspect that the Raiders offense might sneakily be good.
Mason said, Spicy, if you win the $2 billion on this account, I vote you block FSE and run.
It's a take where it's real hard to hit accept on and moving off of him. Yeah, and that's kind of where it's at too. Like, Again, I'm not going to take him at 14 in every draft. Like I said, like I personally would actually prefer Devon Achane straight up in terms of my rankings. But at the same time, when we do have Genty, we got Genty maybe a couple picks past ADP. Usually goes like 8, 9, 10 area as opposed to 11. Like I don't mind mixing it up. And they play the Giants in week 17, which helps.
Yeah, they do for the Giants. Yeah, hear me out, dude. I think the Giants defense could be really good.
It could be. I don't think it will be, but it could be.
Okay. You want to go Evans? Probably.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't really like this round, to be honest. I think this round kind of sucks.
Once Brace goes, yeah, it's kind of cook. We'll go Evans first. Is there any Miami? I mean, we could end up getting Waddle later on if he flows down, and then we'll have 2 potential game stacks if we get a Giant to go with our Bowers and Genty later. Like a Tyler and Tracy, I think would be probably perfect. Or we can try to take like a Darius Slayton, which I would rather.
The reason
Tracy.
I think the Giants could be a decent defense is because objectively they have a top 5 front in the NFL.
I think their front's a little bit overblown though. The Kayvon Thibodeau is not the player that people expect.
Okay, he's their 3rd edge rusher.
Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. Like it's specifically that's also without. Okay, well, we'll make this pick first. Literally any of these receivers.
I'll take.
I'd vote for Hunter, but I'll capitulate. I'm gonna get enough of him on my own.
We can take Hunter here. I don't care.
Your call. Your call. I'm gonna get enough of him on my own. Okay, but
let's take.
Sorry, yeah, I'm not banking in Abdul Carter. You're right, but before Abdul Carter was drafted, people were like, "Oh, Kayvon Thibodeau this, Kayvon Thibodeau that." Like, I don't think Kayvon Thibodeau is a good football player.
I think he's a good rotational 3rd edge rusher.
If that's what he's asked to be,
the best 3rd edge in the league.
No, for what it's worth, when I said that, I was under the impression, okay, 2nd edge rusher, but I'm like, oh no, they have Abdul Carter coming in.
They have Carter and Burns and the best no tackle, debatably in football.
If they didn't add Carter, I would have a lot more question marks. But with Carter, they are way better because now you're delegating Thibodeau to a 3rd rusher, which he should be, and Carter could potentially be the next Micah Parsons. So I don't disagree on that aspect. My apologies.
Yeah. And then they also signed Paulson Adebo from the Saints in free agency too.
Hey, we're winning $2 million.
Damn. I mean, based on the drafts we've had so far, I can't lie. It's looking rough.
It's gonna fuck up my tax bracket. Start my own channel. Say I won X amount on UD 2 years ago.
Jordan said, how do you guys feel about up tiering to CD? Or I mean, Danny's gonna always be Gluck in that move. Or Neighbors with Nico and Igbuka. I again in Dynasty.
I love Nico, but he's older than both those guys, and both those guys are going to be comparative, if not higher, for CD's case in redraft. So to me, if the cost is Igbuka, if it's a start 8, start 9, start 10, I'm comfortable doing it. Once you get to like start 12, start 13, becomes a little bit closer.
I don't think I would do that in a really deep league.
You wouldn't?
Not for Lamb. Not for Lamb. For Neighbors, I would, because I'm higher on Neighbors than I am on Lamb. But
yeah, you're too low on Lamb. We went over that. That's fine.
Shall we hash it out for 25 minutes in a row?
We can again.
I would do it for Neighbors in like a start 10, start 11, start 12, just because I think Neighbors is a better asset in my own personal rankings. But Lamb and Nico are actually like basically the same age, so I don't think age is really a reason why. It's just the projected points advantage that you're getting.
It's off the fact that as much as I love Nico and I have him as my 9th overall player in redraft, CD Lamb is literally my 102. That's the difference.
To be honest with you, though, even then, I would still probably think that you should maybe take Igbuka. 9th versus 2nd is not a big difference.
See, in a start 12, start 13, I agree. In a start 9, start 10, I'm really just looking, can I get as many players that are going to score potentially 22, 23 points per game as I can?
Yeah. Again, I get it. I just, if my 9th overall player in redraft and my 2nd overall player in redraft are like the same age, I wouldn't really think it's that big of a deal.
But
I kind of like Kamara the most here, to be honest. That's my highest rated running back for sure.
I would definitely take Hubbard over Kamara and sleep like a baby.
Okay, we can go Hubbard if you want.
We can take Kamara. We take Kamara. Take Kamara. I'm going to take enough Hubbard, and plus I made the
cupboard.
The cupboard. We could get both for what it's worth. I don't even
that Shuba cupboard.
Not even bullshitting you. I literally don't mind starting 3-2-1 if we have to, and then just taking smashing wide receivers.
Yeah, we could.
We could also go Olave because we got Kamara.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think that's a good move.
Yeah, we have both fallbacks here. I mean,
Yeah.
or just fuck or just fuck all of whatever I said about taking Olave. Because fuck, why like that was. Am I stupid? Why did I think that would happen?
Facts.
He was only like the 6th player on the board. Like surely, like there was no chance he was ever going to get there, anyways.
We definitely considered him. You might say.
Fuck.
There goes Hubbard. You want to go? I mean, we have Evans. We could go Godwin here if you want, or we could go Addison or Jennings or Odunze.
One of those or Judy. I'm cool.
Make a decision. I don't care.
That's spicy. There you go.
Yeah, let's go Addison. Don't take him as much.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, when I'm not very heavy on wide receivers early in the draft too, I don't love grabbing like say 2 receivers from the same team with my first 2 picks or first 3 picks. Like I don't love having Evans, Hunter, Godwin. Like if I have Evans and Godwin, I would want a receiver before Evans, a receiver after Evans, and then Godwin. Like I'd want like 5 receivers on my team, like just a really, heavy receiver build.
Yeah. No, I feel you.
I don't know. To me, it's hard to rationalize like needing most of your weeks from 2 of the same players.
Typical. Well, lads, what do we think on some? Okay, first and foremost, like the Bills should be like minus 400 to win that division.
Honestly, I would if they were minus 400, you should maybe throw the house on them. I think the Bills should probably be like minus 1,000 to win that division.
How are the Patriots that close to them then? Plus 180 would indicate it's close.
Well, the Dolphins are probably also like plus 200 or plus. Maybe even plus 120 or something.
Yeah.
Are the Dolphins odds higher or the Patriots odds higher?
I would assume that
it's probably the Patriots because I think the Patriots win total is like 8.5.
It is, and I actually bet the under on that.
Yeah.
That's a lot of wins, man. Though I completely believe in Drake, like they're probably at best 3-3, at the very best 4-2 in the division.
I think
at the very
record
best.
I could see out of New England is 10 or 11 wins. Absolute ceiling. Best record.
Well,
and
that's the
the
thing.
Bills could win 15 games.
That's the thing. It's like you're kind of betting on the fact that, 4th place schedule, this and that. Like I get that, but also like they're a year removed from being the 2nd worst team in football or 3rd worst team in football. Like we got to take that in.
Yeah.
Or 4th. What? Bill Campbell's 4th pick. Fourth worst team in football. That's because Joe Milton won them a Week 18 game.
Yeah.
Joe Milton costed them Travis Hunter.
Yeah. He did. Also, Mason wants the take of Bijan over Barkley.
Take on Bijan over Barkley. Okay, what's the take on Barkley over Christian McCaffrey?
Okay, that's not the question. Bijan over Barkley.
No. Let me just ask him in the chat real quick, because I would argue that the inherent risk level of 28-year-old running backs. Yeah, McCaffrey got hurt last year, but at the same time, he's fully recovered from that. I would say the risk level on Barkley is as high as the risk level is on McCaffrey, but the market doesn't view it as that. Whereas with Bijan and Gibbs, I'm getting a 23-year-old in your prime player. That's the decider for me.
I don't think
because I don't think
and Barkley's the same.
Well, that's why I don't think there's a difference at all, but the market does. That hence why Barkley's going 2 and 3 and McCaffrey's going at the end of the first.
Yeah, I see your point, but McCaffrey
they're back to back
entering the season with an injury, even though he's healthy now or whatever. Anyways,
he had an injury last year. Let's clarify that.
You want to go? Do you want to go downs here? Or you want to take a running back?
I think we need a receiver more.
Yeah, I agree. But to answer your question, Mason, to me, the take of why it's Bijan over Barkley for me is I think the thing that Barkley has over Bijan is the more proven offense, the more proven quarterback. But the thing that Bijan has over Barkley is less competition for goal line touches on his team. Even though Algier is a good player, we saw that transition happen already. It's Bijan's backfield, no questions asked. And Penix is not going to do what Hurts does on the goal line to Saquon Barkley. I'll finish this take in a second.
Not Mahomes, fucking Pacheco.
Yeah, Pacheco is just like ranked the highest of this group for me, I think.
Yeah. I'll let you continue.
So the goal line equity, the red zone equity, I think is going to favor Bijan slightly, even though that Saquon's in the better offense and that kind of thing. The major reason is that Bijan will probably have 40 to 50 more targets than Saquon this year. That's the major reason in my opinion.
And that's what I was going to add.
Half PPR, maybe you could say, okay, it's not as important, but in full PPR, I think Bijan's going to out-target Saquon by a good amount.
And that's what the thing is for me too. The Penix push is hilarious, by the way. So I'm actually prepping some TikToks for how your first round should go. And I have Bijan obviously ahead of Saquon Barkley. with Bijan Robinson, when I'm combining the case of situation, elite talent, weighted opportunities, again, Bijan was number one in weighted opportunities last year. We saw him really get his full-on workload week 6 on, is what I noticed. There was a couple games early in this year, like maybe in regards to maybe it was game script. I don't know what the case.
I think it was volume mainly.
It was weird volume.
Same amount of volume that he got at the end of the year.
But that's what I mean. Once he did get that volume, you're looking at 20 plus points in 10 of his last 12 games and 22.59 PPR points per game. And when I'm getting that comparable upside for a guy that I know is going to get more receiving work, the offense has even more upside compared to the question marks we saw last year. And you're not even having the age question mark. For me, it's just Bijan Robinson just has the fewest cases against him. Whereas with Barkley, like I said, to me, Barkley and McCaffrey are literally back-to-back in my rankings. I don't know why the market views it as like an 8-spot discrepancy between the two. And in fact, if I had the case that both would play 15 plus games this year, I would make the bet 10 out of 10 times that McCaffrey would outscore him in PPR.
Yeah, I think that's fair. 4.2 targets per
totally
game.
Reasonable. Totally
4.2 targets per game for Bijan after week 6. Saquon 2.1 targets per game over that same stretch. That's the reason that Bijan's over Saquon for me. And for what it's worth, his utilization score, according to Fantasy Life, was the highest in the league among any running back, including Chase Brown, who had like a monster second half of the year. It was utilization wise. So yeah, the question really is, if you believe in Penix, Bijan should not only be the RB1, he should probably be the 101.
I think at worst, if you believe in Penix and you believe in Bijan, he has to be 103 for me at the worst. Because again, like I would still in a PPR take the receivers. If you're in a half PPR, non-PPR, sure, you want to take the running backs early.
And if you love CeeDee Lamb for no reason, you should take him over.
I mean, the reason is the fact that he has the 3rd best wide receiver season ever.
Yes, he's a beast. I wouldn't take him over Bijan though.
Yeah, I think the top 3 for me, pick out of a hat. 4 through 7 is the next year for me because I personally would not be able to take any of Jefferson, Barkley, Gibbs.
Go Tracy here?
Yeah, sure. Jefferson, Barkley, McCaffrey, and who's the other one? Gibbs. I can't take them over the other 3.
Yeah. I hate this part of the board. Holy shit. Do we take Shaheed? Disgusting. We have Kamara. I never get Shaheed.
Then let's take him.
Yeah. I mean, we could. I can't actually take him in a vacuum over Travis Etienne, but
I mean, we have Hunter, but we have 4 running backs. We should have taken him at the other pick and then taken Etienne if we wanted Etienne.
Well, I would rather have Tracy than Etienne slightly anyways.
But that's what I mean. It's like we can't take 2 running backs on
actually,
that.
I wouldn't, but given ADP texture, I'm fine taking him over Etienne.
Yeah. So this is going to be literally Bowers and insert 16th, 17th, or 18th round tight end. So we don't have to worry about tight end basically until the rest of the draft.
No.
But we do need quarterbacks soon.
Yeah. Ideally, Trevor falls to us, but I'm a little worried.
It's not me being lower on Jefferson per se. It's more so just the fact that I think Chase and Lamb have inarguably higher ceilings, and that's been proven. With Jefferson, again, if you prefer the floor aspect that he's the best receiver in football and that even despite a questionable quarterback situation, you trust Kevin O'Connell to be able to stabilize the offense. I think he's got the highest comparative floor like we've seen. But ultimately, I've seen 23 plus PPR point per game seasons from Chase and Lamb. I haven't from Jefferson. And that's the decider for me. On top of that, I just believe much more in the again, the Cincinnati offense, I think, is a given. But people are going to be like, oh, well, how do you think about the Cowboys offense? If Dak Prescott is healthy, the Cowboys will be a top 12 at worst offense. At worst.
Really?
I mean, he's going to throw 35 touchdowns and 4,500 yards.
I know, I'm joking. I wonder why Danny would be optimistic about the Cowboys.
I wonder
why.
It might be the jersey hanging in the back. Maybe.
I will say, like,
it feels like I'm on an island, though. Like I was refreshed.
Every
when
Cowboys fan thinks they're on an island and that everyone hates their team. Like literally, all of you think that.
Genuinely, I was so refreshed and happy when I saw that Domain guys also had Lamb at wide receiver too. I have him at
wide receiver too as well.
No, but like because I mean we talk all the time. I'm just saying like Mason doesn't have a wide receiver too, and I feel like the majority of the industry has Jefferson there. But when I saw the Domain guys had it, I'm like, you know what? Respect, boys. Appreciate that. I feel like we've been on an island for so long on that. Like, finally, someone else fucking did it.
Danny is gonna validate anybody who agrees with him.
Anytime I see CeeDee Lamb love, I gotta give it the flowers. Also, Mason, it's not too late to make the switch.
Also, the Penix push. I think the Penixtration is the better tush push for Michael Penix.
Respectfully, what did he run for last year? 11 total yards on 7 carries.
He could run a tush push. He's big enough.
Sure, but like how many total rushing attempts did he have? Seven carries,
I know.
like 11 yards.
If for whatever reason they decided to run tush pushes with the Penix, it would definitely be called the Penixtration.
By the way, I'm completely guessing it was 7 for 11. Was it actually? Because I think I remember seeing it on Sleeper. I'll check now.
Idea. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like we still need receivers with this team, and Lawrence is still on the board.
7 carries for 11 yards and a touchdown. Exactly. By the way,
hopefully Lawrence falls to us here because we kind of need a QB really bad.
Yeah,
and we have Hunter. So
yeah, Lawrence plus. Fuck, you know
why are the tight ends the best
I know!
on the board?
It's pissing me off. I want a tight end, but I can't.
I mean, I'm fine taking another tight. Like, I'm fine taking. Good. Please do not take Lawrence here. I'm fine taking Warren here or something, or Loveland.
The run back.
Well, we take Lawrence first. We have to take Lawrence.
You gotta go to Lawrence first because super center.
Our receiver core kind of sucks. I wouldn't be opposed to taking Kirk and getting a safe guy.
Dude, I'm totally cool with closing our running backs off at 5, taking 2 more quarterbacks, which is what we'll probably have to do.
We got to take Loveland here, right? Or Warren.
Warren
or we have Ballard. I'm saying Loveland might not be the worst idea.
Run back.
Oh, is it a run back?
Jaguars versus Colts.
Right. Yeah. That's a run back. I'm going to have an inordinate amount of Warren over Loveland. I've been taking Warren way more often.
Yeah. Trust me, an even surface level, I would actually prefer Loveland, but because we have the stack, I think it's totally fucking reasonable.
Oh, I definitely would not prefer Loveland. Not a chance.
Yeah. That's fine. You do.
Not in redraft. If you are long-term dynasty rebuilder, all that kind of stuff, yeah, but not in redraft. There's no way I would take Loveland over Warren. I think that's an asinine take, personally. Warren's going to be like a 95% route participation tight end from week 1.
He could be. See, the thing is, you're looking at directly the target competition. I'm looking at the fact that there's no elite alpha on either team. I'm not
looking at the target competition. I'm looking at the playing time.
But that's the thing. Like, why though?
Well, because Warren was a top 15 pick and is going to start for his team from week 1, whereas Loveland is a top 10 pick, but they have Komet who makes a lot of money. I actually
wait, correction. Did they have Komet making a ton of money when they drafted Loveland 10th overall?
They did. Okay. They did, but I think it would be foolish to suggest that Loveland is going to be a 95% route participation guy off the rip because he also was raw and can't block.
See, I don't think he was raw. I think him and Warren were very comparable. Really I watched both. I thought they were very comparable blockers, actually. What was your run blocking grade on both? I honestly think I had Loveland with a higher grade. I didn't think Warren was an exceptional blocker at all.
Okay, well, whether you and I don't think that's or not, I'm saying the general sentiment around the league was that Loveland was not a good blocker.
That's why he went 10th overall, right?
But the most teams probably viewed him not as a good blocker, as what I'm saying, including his own.
Question though, do the 31 other teams matter in this situation, or do the Bears matter?
The Bears probably would tell you the same thing, that they thought Warren was a better blocker. I would imagine if most NFL teams thought that.
If that's the case, why didn't they take Warren?
Well, because they probably wanted a more dynamic receiver, which is what Loveland is.
So if they view him as the more dynamic receiver and he has an opportunity to start at tight end, why would I not target that? Especially in an offense I think is going to be much better.
Because his blocking could factor in how much time he plays.
It wasn't a factor when they took him at 10th, though, is my thing.
Right, but it's also they didn't draft him just for this year. It's a long-term thing.
But like you're making like they probably thought Warren was a better blocker, but who's to say? What if they think Loveland's an amazing blocker?
Maybe, yeah. My thought is just this: I think Loveland by week 10 onward will probably be playing good amount of snaps or whatever. But I wouldn't be shocked if Warren is very clearly the better tight end through the first 8-9 games of the rookie year.
Give me Tank. Give me Tank.
You want to go Tank?
Dude, he fits the build. He's another factor for the stack and. Dude, like he was a good runner last year.
Like, he was, yeah. I'd be cool. By the way, I would like Tillman probably with this pick because I think he's the better receiver of him and QJ, and we kind of need a safer, good option. We might have to go 8 receivers with this team. I think it's pretty weak.
Someone read the reception perception.
Yes, that's correct.
No, real talk though. What if he's like just this year's Sutton? And it's funny because Judy played with last time.
It's also funny because Harmon called him Sutton in the reception perception as well.
Well, yeah. He could be, though. That's what I'm saying. Like archetype-wise, and who did Judy play with in the first X amount of years in his career? What if Loveland is just Kyle Pitts? I mean, what if Warren's just Kyle Pitts? I can literally say that too.
I mean, I think it is more likely that it would be Loveland of the two of them.
Maybe like I don't think
The guy
either
that
of Kyle
can't
Pitts
get on
though.
the field because he can't block sounds more like Loveland to me.
But Kyle Pitts was the high A dot tight end in a low A dot system. That's why Jonnu Smith was fucking force fed targets with Arthur Smith.
I think
Like,
his point is just that he's all
Yeah.
talent and no fantasy production.
maybe I don't know. I think Loveland's like the moniker that he quote unquote can't block is overstated in my opinion. He's a very good move blocker.
Okay,
Very good move blocker.
We'll see. I think most NFL teams would ease him into that role personally.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Scouts that I trust didn't like him as a blocker, and I don't know enough about tight end blocking to say that I guarantee trust my own evaluation on him.
I'll tell you what. I've probably watched as many Loveland games as anybody here.
Yeah, but you're also extremely biased because he played
Sure.
for your favorite team.
Did I love Roman Wilson?
No, but
Okay.
you're more like if you like a player,
Yeah.
you're gonna probably like him more than the average person.
The two clear best offensive players that we had, obviously Blake Corum college wise, but in terms of pro projection on our national championship team, were JJ McCarthy and Colson Loveland in terms of pro projection.
Yeah, I love Colson Loveland. I think it's possible that he starts out slow because he wasn't a good blocker in college.
Yeah.
And he's not big enough really mass wise to block.
He's like didn't he weigh in at 260 at the combine?
Oh.
He's like 6'6", 255 or something, no?
Was it? I thought it was 248.
He was huge. No, I remember he was huge. People thought he would be
tall. He was taller than people thought. I remember that. I don't remember mass wise.
Let me see
he was.
Exactly.
I think it was 100%. That was 248.
It could be 248. I just remember people expected him to potentially weigh in less than they thought. Let me see here. You're right. It was 248. It was 248.
Yeah, as prospects, like Pitts objectively was the better prospect. Like,
yep. I think maybe it's because people thought he may be like Sam Laporta 6'3", 235.
We're gonna have to swallow our medicine here and take. Oh, he went. Thank God, I don't have to take Brenton fucking Strange.
Did you hear the Gladstone quote?
We already have Warren and Bowers, right?
Yeah,
we
no, we're
tight end.
calm. Yeah, no.
Are we taking Cam Ward again?
Do we have any Seahawks?
No. And I would rather have Ward than fucking Darnold anyways.
Fuck it, we ball.
Are we just going to have an all AFC South stacked quarterback core where we take Daniel Jones late in the draft as well?
Is that a bad thing? Look at those fucking defenses in that division.
Yeah, we have. Why are we always taking freaking Colts every time?
Dude, shout out Brock.
Okay.
Giddens.
Do we? I don't think we need any more running.
We don't need another running back.
Take a receiver here. You want to go?
Keenan Allen,
Hopkins or Keenan?
Keenan Allen.
Yeah, go Keenan. Hopefully, Titans sign him or something.
Dude, I generally think Hopkins might be the wide receiver 4 on.
I actually kind of hate this team. If I'm being 100% honest with you,
it's unique.
This is why I don't like taking Bowers, man. I feel like you just hate your fucking team at the end of the draft. You know how much better it would have been if we just took both Warren and Loveland instead of Bowers, and instead of Bowers we had, AJ Brown or something on our team. Like
I'm dude, respectfully in a half PPR, I think Bowers outscores AJ Brown this year.
I disagree.
A half PPR?
AJ Brown outscored him last year by like 2 points.
I think there's going to be a lot more touchdown equity than what was the split of no than what the Raiders had last year.
Okay, sure.
But that's what I mean. Like Bowers scored like 3 touchdowns, and what was the scoring output between them? I'm actually curious. Bowers had like 155 targets as a rookie.
I guess. I don't know.
Take a look. So AJ Brown, this is, how do I see by half PPR? It only shows full PPR on Sleeper. 216.9 in 13 games, 216.9. And he left 1 game early. So if you're taking that out, 216.9 minus 5.6, 11 point.
You don't have to convince me how good Bowers is. It's more just a structural thing. I'd rather have the wide receiver.
Oh, no, I'm looking at Brown. 211.3 in 12 games. What's that average? 211.3 divided by 12. This is in full PPR too. So like, I can't really see the half right now. 211.3 divided by 12, I think I said.
Yeah.
Something like that. 17.6 points per game? What was that Bowers at? Like he was probably actually a little bit less now that I'm thinking about it, but 262.7.
It was not 17.6 PPR points per game. That would have been an insane year from Bowers.
I mean, he was at 15.5 as a rookie with fucking 5 touchdowns, bro. How many touchdowns did the Raiders throw as a team?
Yeah, I mean, I could see his touchdowns going up, but let's not pretend that he didn't have 153 targets and now has more target competition.
No, you're right. You're right. I
He
mean,
led the position in targets, and I don't even think it was close.
yeah, no. Well, McBride was the
Other than him and McBride, I think they were like 30 targets ahead of every other tight end in football.
How many touchdowns did the Raiders throw as a team last year? Oh, get this, right? Okay. So the Raiders threw 19 total touchdowns as a team.
Are we doing another receiver and then a QB?
Yeah.
Go to the top right now.
Diami?
We could take Diami. Yeah, we need another receiver, and we have Lawrence and Hunter. And then, I mean, we don't have what's his name available to us. Dimes went.
Do we have any other stacking option? Let me look. Saints?
Shuck.
Is he there?
Yeah.
I mean, we have the run back anyway, so we're
and
fine.
we have
there.
Kamara and Shaheed. I guess we're getting a Shuck share. This team makes me want to die. Holy shit.
Shuck, more like yuck.
Tyler Cuck.
Fuck.
Oh God, this team sucks. Holy shit. This team is horrid. I actually can't stand this one. Holy hell. If this is the winning BBM, I will
but that's the thing.
On stream, dude.
That's the
Holy
thing. If we're going to be doing between us 300, between Spicy as well, probably what, give or take
30, 40 more. Yeah.
300, let's just say almost 350 BBMs. We need a couple that we completely fucking hate. We need them.
You do, but oh my God, I need a bath. I need an absolute bath after that. This is what Corey's team's gonna look like in the vlog league. Dude, I'm drafting the sharpest possible team I can. Like, I am just like gonna be so dialed in. It's gonna be
just
insane.
like last year.
Anything, yeah. My team, dude, my draft was actually good. If you look at my draft, I just traded all the best picks that I made. JSN, Bucky Irving, I traded them all.
My draft was good minus my first pick, and then the rest of my team
minus my first pick, my draft. And like Mahomes and Kelsey, I don't know, dude. I walked out of that draft being like, yeah, I invested in a lot of really good offenses. I didn't know the Dolphins and the fucking Jets and Chiefs were going to suck ass.
They could be completely
They all
useless.
sucked.
Yeah.
The Chiefs won like 15 games, and the best two players on their offense for the whole year, because Rice went down, were like not useful for fantasy at all.
Bleach your eyes.
Yeah, literally bleach my eyes.
Yes, sir. I mean, hear me out, though. I kind of see the vision with the squad a little bit. Maybe. Probably not.
Whoever the highest the player in ADP is in the Flock League, I might just be obligated to take them because I'm scarred from trying to make a take on the clock.
You should be like, last year I went against the grain. This year, first 5 picks. Who's the top name on the board?
See, I really hope I don't have a late pick, though, because that's when I'm going to go against the grain. Like, I hope I have a top 6 pick in the Flock League. So it's like, okay, I'll just take whoever falls to me. But if I have like the 9th pick or something, I'd be like, got to take Devon Achane this high, got to rank this high or something. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do that. I want to just give me like, Lamb or Bijan or something. So I just know exactly what I'm doing in the first round.
No, the fact too, bro, last year that you and Mason took Achane and Nico back to back before my pick, it hurt my soul.
Dude, like, I was livid when I was hoping Mason would have taken Jefferson too. I was like, please take Jefferson, because I picked right after him. I'm like, I want Chase so bad. Please take Jefferson. Please take Jefferson.
Question.
And then because I knew I was going to take Wilson over Jefferson, I was hoping that Chase would just fall to me.
Question for you. If I had taken Jamar Chase where I took Breece Hall and Mason took Justin Jefferson, which jet would you have taken?
Oh, I would have taken Breece, 100%. I had Breece like 4 spots higher than 5. He was like my 103 or 4 last year.
Okay, fair enough. I got a dip. GG's. Yo, GG Spicy. Appreciate you, brother.
Yep. Take it easy. Yeah. Appreciate you guys for tuning in here. We kind of just yapped as usual. And talked about some chocolate bars, talked about some takes. Leave a like. You guys know what to do. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new around here. What do we got next on the docket is players we can't stop drafting. So redraft content for those of you guys that are in here. You're probably more redraft centric. And then players we're not really clicking the button on very often. Those are going to be the next 2 videos we do.
Yes, sir.
Saturday, Sunday area, I would say is probably when we'll do it. Oh, J Metal said we didn't talk about Dobbins signing or Chubb. Okay. I made a TikTok on that, so I kind of already made my thoughts pretty clear. But my thought process is it'll probably drop RJ Harvey's ADP about a round, give or take. I at the risk of sounding nuts, kind of like Dobbins at cost more than Harvey at cost. Like you get me Dobbins in the 12th, 13th
What's
round
the
versus
relevant-
Harvey in the 6th,
What's the
7th
relative
round.
cost? 6'7"
Harvey is
versus-
a 606 type of pick.
He goes more like a 5th rounder on underdog, but
Let's say he settles in early 6th round with this news. I would rather take a lot of running backs that go off the board in that range over OJ Harvey. I'd rather have Hubbard. I'd rather have Kamara. I would rather have Walker. I would rather have Judkins. I would rather
Henderson.
I'd rather have Henderson. Like, it's not that I don't like Harvey. I just think that Dobbins year one is probably going to be a pest. And Dobbins is still a very good running back. And then with Chubb, between him and Mixon, I will absolutely take Chubb at cost. Like if Chubb is a 14th, 15th round pick in leagues or whatever, I'll take him there all day. And I'll just fade Mixon.
I'm just not taking Mixon.
I wasn't anti-Mixon until Chubb signed there because all Mixon has is volume. That's all he has. So if something is threatening his volume, that's bad.
I might just not draft either, to be honest.
What, Harvey or Mixon or Chubb?
Mixon or Chubb.
Yeah, I'll take swings on Chubb in like the 13th, 14th round and 0 RB builds. I'll be fine with that.
That might be like the 29th ranked rushing attack in the league.
Yeah, and I agree. I think Judkins is definitely. I think Judkins was the better pick before the signing, to be honest, because he's just a way better prospect than Harvey.
Yeah, fuck. Are you guys on the Brees train this year? Absolutely. And in fact, Corey, please tell me you saw my quote tweet yesterday.
No, I did not.
Or my reply. Sorry. Read this. What Hayden Wink shared.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
What the fuck?
Yeah, dude. Nathaniel Hackett was the way that Brees was gonna be hit for sure. Are you still Chase Brown over Brees by chance?
Let me see where I have them ranked. The gap is definitely closer, but I have Chase Brown still ahead. Although I would much rather have Brees Hall than Jonathan Taylor, and Jonathan Taylor goes fucking like 13.
Okay, we've been on that train though, but my thought is like Brees Hall's my RB11. How close is Brees Hall to Bucky Irving, Chase Brown, and Josh Jacobs? Like in terms of, because I think objectively, we have more of a sample that Brees Hall is a great running back than we do of Bucky Irving and Chase Brown.
So I'm gonna extend that tier a little bit because I do think I have to even actually have Devontae Adams on that, to be honest. Brees Hall and Devontae Adams, I moved up to 28th and 27th. So I'll tell you right now, the tier that I just made, because again, above this, AJ Brown 19, McConkey 18, Henry 17, Bauer 16, London 15, right? Pretty box standard. 20th is where it starts getting dicey, and I think you can kind of take your stances on certain players. So
yeah,
I have
Tyreek and Jacobs at 19 and 20.
Yeah. I think the difference is, who do you not have in your top 19
Conky.
that I would?
I'm a 21.
Conky. Okay, that's the difference. Regardless, though, between 20 and 28, this is the current order I have them. I have Chase Brown at 20. I have Rashid Rice at 21. I have T. Higgins at 22. Jacobs, Irving 23, 24. Tyreek Hill 25. McBride 26. Brees Hall 27. I have Devontae Adams as the final name in that tier 28.
Yeah, I mean, we have some differing names there. Like from 19 to 26 is a tier for me. And I have Tyreek at 19, Jacobs at 20, McConkey at 21, Irving at 22, Higgins at 23, Garrett Wilson at 24, Chase Brown at 25, and Brees Hall at 26. And then I don't have Rice until well into the next tier, to be honest. I don't have Adams until into that next tier.
Why though? That's the question I have for you. Objectively, Devontae Adams was better than Tyreek Hill last year. Why?
Because Tyreek Hill, when he's healthy, and he wasn't healthy last year, like wipes the floor with Devontae Adams at this point in his career.
But how do we know that? Devontae Adams was literally a top 10 wide receiver last year, and now he's playing for the Rams.
Well, he also has Puka Nacua to compete for targets with. Sure. Like Tyreek,
Joe Mall, Devon Achane, Jonnu Smith.
Not Puka Nacua. Get out of here.
Sure. Agreed, but also outside of Puka Nacua, who else is earning targets on the Rams outside of those two? It's like to me, it's like a Jaguar situation. All the targets can go through those two players.
I don't disagree with you, but like Tyreek, you're arguing against Tyreek Hill over Adams right now. Is that what's going on?
No, I'm just saying, why is the discrepancy that big? Because for me, it's 25 Hill, 28 Adams. I very much think they should be in the same tier because I think you can argue Devontae Adams over him. It's going to be a much better offensive projection with the Rams.
I disagree.
Why is there
the Dolphins can be just as good as the Rams offensively next year?
My argument isn't necessarily Tyreek Hill versus Adams. Like I have Tyreek Hill a few spots higher. It's my argument. It's like, how do you have them a round difference? Like that's insane to me.
Well, I mean, their ADP is around different also. Not around different, but a couple picks.
They're back to back on underdog.
I like Tyreek Hill better. I think he has the much higher ceiling. He was he was literally like the MVP in the league for the first like 12 games 2 years ago.
Davante Adams got traded mid-season. He was a top 10 wide receiver in fantasy with the worst. Like the Jets last year were a fucking dumpster fire in terms of culture. He goes to the Rams now, man.
Dude, I love Davante Adams. I think he's a great option this year.
I just think you have him too low in comparison to Hill.
I have him at 30. I just love Tyreek, man. I think Tyreek has a much higher ceiling. He was not healthy. Neither was his quarterback last year. And schematically, it's the same offense. Like they are both very advantaged to be in the scheme that they're in.
But let me ask you, how much better does the Rams offense project? Because I think that's going to be the discrepancy for me. I think the Rams offense projects much better.
It's not that I think they project much better. I think that they project slightly better. And I have Nakua as my 7th overall player because I think he's
8th for me.
He's going to have 175 targets this year.
He's 8th for me, but I also think the collection in terms of target competition is actually more in Miami than it is in LA.
That's fair. I think you should have Stafford higher than you probably do if you think that highly of Adams and Nakua.
Well, he doesn't run the ball either, and it's pocket quarterback, so I can get him late anyways.
Dude, you should have Stafford as a top 12 quarterback if you have both Adams and Puka Nakua in your top 25.
Why?
Because look at the times that a receiver has finished top 12, like 2 receivers from the same team. Every single time the quarterback is top 12.
Let me ask you where Stafford finished last year, despite both Nakua and Cup.
Both of them were hurt.
Even if you take the splits when they all played, like pull the splits, he wasn't a top 12 quarterback
right now.
But that's what I'm telling you. Like realistically, for me, like I think it's going to be such a consolidated target situation. I think they are clear 2 elite players in that offense, and they both play wide receiver. And we're going to probably see about 65% of the targets funnel between them.
I don't disagree. I think Tyreek is clearly the number 1 in his offense, not in a consolidated this and a consolidated. But
you're hoping he can get there because, quite frankly, it wasn't even close. Davante Adams was objectively a better football player in 2024.
He was, yeah. But Tyreek was also hurt all year.
Yeah. I like Tyreek.
Quarterback for half the year too.
Dude, I like Tyreek. I have him at 25 overall. I have him ahead of the market. But objectively speaking, Adams was better than last year. Adams goes to a better offense this year with a better quarterback. And Davante Adams, what is there actually to worry about him aside from he's old? Realistically,
there's not much to worry about him. I told you it's the ceiling why I like Tyreek better.
Fair, yeah. Again,
if you put Adams in Tyreek's position right now and swapped them, Adams would be going higher in drafts.
As he should. He's a better player at this point.
Right, but if you took Tyreek and put him on the Rams, and you took Adams and put him on the Dolphins, Adams as the number 1 of the Dolphins would go higher than he's currently going, which is proof that the situation's better.
Adams, objectively speaking, last year was far better than Tyreek Hill. And I think you have to bake in, as the age guy, when an older wide receiver shows signs of decline, it has to bake in.
But it's the same case as McCaffrey. If he's healthy now, then it's fine.
But it's not, though, because the last time we saw him...
McCaffrey was horrible when he's on the field last year. It's the same thing.
Played 4 games.
But it's the same as Tyreek.
But it's not, though, because Tyreek played 15 games.
On the field, but he was hurt.
Tyreek played 15 games.
Yeah, I know. He also didn't have Tua for most of those games, too.
Even when he had Tua.
He wasn't good. I know. He wasn't good last year.
He was fine. Like, again, I still like Tyreek Hill. I just think it's crazy to me to have that big of a discrepancy between them. I don't know whether you have to lower Hill or raise Adams. I think they should be within a few spots of each other. Like they are virtually the same case to me. They're back to back in my wide receiver rankings.
Yeah, I mean, I have Adams relatively in that same range. Like I have him, can move him ahead of this guy, and like
for what it's worth, guys, this is how we actually get our rankings done. Is we just have these debates and like kind of realize where we actually think on these guys.
Yeah, like. Again, you're making valid points. I moved Adams up a few spots since we've had this discussion. He is at 28 for me now, but I still think he should be a 3rd round pick. I don't. He's not. He's never going to be the number 1 of his team.
Hey,
and guess if you do think he should, even if you think it's consolidated, all that kind of stuff, you should probably have Nakua lower than you do, or Stafford's way too low in your ranking.
I have for what it's worth, Tyreek Hill and Davante Adams in the early 3rd portion of my rankings. So okay. I don't disagree with you on that. I have overall right now, like I said, what was it? I have Tyreek Hill 25 and I have Davante Adams at 28. I think as your 3rd pick, especially if you can compare them up with a CeeDee Lamb or a Jamar Chase, and they're your wide receiver 2 on your team, Oh boy, I'm loving life. If you compare two of those guys with like a Josh Jacobs, a Bucky Irving, a Chase Brown, a Brees Hall, even if like you want to reach down the board, go nuts. Like I'm perfectly cool with that.
Yeah. I think that's fair. But anyways, we could probably sign off of here and head out. Sorry, my eyes are fucking dying from allergies right now. But yeah, appreciate you guys for tuning in. We'll be tackling more best ball streams. And like I said, we'll be doing some players we can't stop drafting. I'm sure Tyreek Hill will be on my list because he's like literally my most drafted player so far.
I have a ton of Hill.
Early rounds. And then players we maybe aren't drafting as much. And we'll talk about some guys that we're kind of avoiding at cost right now. That'll be kind of a way too early look at, good values and not good values in the redraft landscape. And obviously underdog's the only source of ADP that we can really trust right now. So it might differ from like league to league in terms of redraft, but it is definitely a fun exercise to talk about. So like I said, like, comment, subscribe, check out the new Instagram, follow that down below. Check out Danny's new TikTok, which he's going to be rolling here. And then check out other sources of stuff, my TikTok, other places. Yes, appreciate it.
Also, you guys got a little sneak peek because like I said, the first TikToks I'm going to be rolling out is just how your first round should go and then how your second round should go, and going to segment those 3 or 4 players per TikTok, get you guys out, but you guys kind of got the sneak peek in terms of maybe some of these discussions. Nico Collins.
Nico is going to be like, you should go 4th in your league or something. Whatever Danny's going to put him. But anyways, appreciate you guys. Take it easy.
Later. I just joined. It was like, damn, they were wrapping up, and then one of the debates started. Still going?
Yeah, I hit end stream.
I'm so confused. Can they see this? Can you guys see this?
I don't know. I can't tell. There's like a 40-second delay on end stream. Holy shit.
I don't think they see this because it's still rolling, but nobody's commenting. If they saw this, they would have said something, right?
Having trouble connecting. Okay, here we go. End stream. Come on. You might have to hit it because it's just glitching out on me.
Oh, it's doing the same thing for me now. It's literally just a gray box.
Shout out.
It's showing the arrow, so that means it's done, right? Usually, wait, you can see this.
Oh my god.
We see
what is going on.
It's not letting us end the stream.
Bro. Holy shit.
It's not letting us end the stream.
Here, you try it now. It just said having trouble connecting.
I did. It's just having trouble connecting.
Oh my god. What a dog shit platform this is.
We can't physically leave.
We're stuck here. We're gonna keep going, stuck. I guess, apparently. No, just like literally, I don't know why the hell this isn't ending.
How are we stuck? What is going on? I want StreamYard, let us leave. I'm trying to eat. I haven't eaten today. I'm trying to make some hash browns and fucking eggs.
How the hell do I end this?
The hell is even that?
We said no. I literally can't end this stream.
Dude, it's not letting me either. Please check your internet connection. Actually, my internet connection is perfectly fine considering I can access every
I'll refresh my page really quick. See if that helps.
Yeah, same. Reload the site. Changes you made may not be saved.
This is
it takes 10 years to load. Cool.
Oh my god.
Holy camoly, man. I'm trying to make some best ball picks and eat some food. Having trouble. Please connect to your internet connection.
Oh my goodness, dude.
Actually, quite frankly, my internet is connected. I'm seeing fucking previews of YouTube videos right now. So I don't think it's my end, Slate StreamYard. I think your internet connection is bugging StreamYard.
They want you to do another BB.
If Spicy was here, I'd be keen, but fuck, he's gone. We can't. We physically cannot.
We physically cannot end this right now. What the hell is going on?
We're in live stream jail right now.
This is how Mason must have felt when he said he would do a 24-hour live stream. He's like, oh my god, it's hour 13 right now.
Yeah, well, why isn't it letting us end? Like, do we have to unlink fucking shit? Like, what is going on?
I don't know.
So I'm curious, if we were to just both close tab and nothing was in here, would it automatically end if nobody was in? Or would
I don't know.
Like, we both just clicked X right now on the tab. What would happen?
I don't know.
I kind of want to try it, but I also don't want to fuck shit up. Yo, StreamYard's holding us hostage.
Oh my goodness, man.
This is insane.